can't play straight back shots, you might as well hammer it away through square leg, which is exactly what he's done. He hit that really well, 4 runs.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more?
You're on.
Well, thank you very much. That was a game that I don't know what we were commentating on there. It sounded like it was Gary and me.
It was England versus Pakistan in the World Cup last year.
Huh?
England versus Pakistan in the World Cup last year.
Oh, the World Cup from last year. Well, I'm back, and hopefully I'm going to take Zach Crawley to his 100. He's 97, not out. Over the tea interval, 20 minutes nibbling away at, I don't know, a little bit of cake, maybe a cup of tea to calm the nerves. What would you do if you were on 97 through the tea interval, Annie? Would you have some hot water?
Funnily enough, I've got some with me. I would. I'd have some hot water and I'd stare at a blank wall.
Yeah, good for the digestion. Yes. Those two things, I think, absolutely perfect. Yasir Shah has bowled very nicely today. 2 wickets for 60. I was a bit distressed. In the time that it took me to drive from my mum's back to my own house, we lost 2 wickets. How did we do that? It all looked to be going so swimmingly with just the 2 wickets down. Crawley and Root looked happy together, like a married couple for about 2 years. And then Root got out to a cracker, didn't he? Really good ball from Naseem. Anyway, after tea, we're going to start again with Mohammed Abbas. I'd like you to bring you his jingle, but the bear has escaped again.
He keeps doing this. The bear keeps escaping from his cage.
Well, we need to shut that door and not let him out. Well, you'll have to do out the jingles for now. Annie is on the tweet. You're on the tweets, by the way, Annie.
Am I?
Yeah,
okay.
Because I was supposed to be, but Jono's otherwise engaged at work. So
he's
a
a busy
change
man
on the schedule. 2 slips in the gully, backward point, extra cover mid-off, mid-on, square leg and long leg. And Crawley will face the first ball after tea from Mohammed Abbas. He's in, he bowls, and he flicks this one up to mid-on. Good length delivery. And there is no run.
Do you have some jingles?
Yeah, go for it.
This man's bowling. Bowling 2.
Yeah, I'm not hearing the jingles very well today, I must admit.
It's one playing now.
Oh, is there? Oh, there you go.
I'm not hearing them either.
So if we're talking over the jingles, that's why. This is probably quite technical problems with Zoom cricket. But there you go, we have to live with these things.
It's not ideal, Zoom cricket.
That jingle just finished.
It's not ideal, it means we never
spoken
get to
over the
see each
whole
other
thing.
properly. We never get to hug. We never get to argue properly.
And you grow your hair longer and longer.
I know. It's good, isn't it?
He's an Alice man.
I'm trying to become Ryan Sidebottom, but I need a few more kills. Onto the front foot comes Crawley, defends straight back to Mohammed Abbas, and there is no run. 184 for 4, very similar sessions really. 2 wickets for 91 and 93 runs. And
he looks like Jesus, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh God, even.
Who? I look like God.
God or Jesus?
I would love to be the tweet of God. I do like the tweet of God. Does anyone
You look like
follow the
God
tweet of
or Charles Dickens or someone like that.
Excellent, excellent. I like that.
God or Charles Dickens, very similar.
God, yeah. I think I find Charles Dickens was a better writer. Anyway, Mohammed Abbas is coming in again to bowl to Crawley, and Crawley is forward. He whips that away. Seemed to have ages to wait for that. That was a very nicely timed shot. He's coming back for the second. Going to have to hurry a little bit, but he'll get there as it was fielded down at deep backward square. And Crawley goes within 1 run of a maiden Test century. And as people have been saying, this is a pretty unusual position for him. He's only got 3 first-class hundreds, so it's not only his first Test 100, but he's not got too many to look back on. So this is about building confidence. He's building confidence for the future here, getting something in the bag, as it were. No changes to the field. Maybe the square leggers come a little bit straighter. And Mohammed Abbas is into Crawley. It's wide of the stump, tried to tempt him into a big booming drive to get to the 100, but he's shown that he's made of more than that by leaving it alone. And there is no run. Any tweets?
Yeah, we've had a few people. So we've had people talking about trying guerrilla cricket because it's the world's #1 vaughnless alternative. That's Tom Luxton at home, and Lazy Fred 1971 replies saying anything vaughnless is fine by me.
Is there anything other than a Lazy Fred? Mohammed Abbas in bowls wide outside the off stump again. Crawley refuses to be tempted. and leaves that alone to go through to the keeper. He's batted beautifully today, hasn't he, Crawley? From the moment that he came in, he timed his first ball, I think it was, beautifully off his legs. And
yeah, absolutely. It's been really eye-catching cricket between the two of these. I mean, I know I'm a Butler fan, but he has been looking really good too. It's been a lovely little partnership.
you don't have rose. What's the word? Rose. I'll come back to that. Tinted spectacles,
glasses.
Butler tinted spectacles. Outside the off stump, he comes down the wicket and then opens the face, plays that beautifully square of the man at extra cover. He's coming back for a second. He has a first Test 100. Shame is there's no one there to see it apart from his teammates. And he kisses the badge. Of course he kisses the badge. The England players are up on the balcony. They are the ones leading the applause. And Zach Crawley, in only his 8th Test match, has a maiden Test 100.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Congratulations,
Well batted.
sir. You are a centurion.
Yeah,
Well
very
batted,
nicely
sir.
batted and very calmly played there straight after tea, I'd say. He came down the wicket, but then just picked his spot, tried to overhit it, just angled it to the left of the man at extra cover. And hearty congratulations from Josh at the other end, who also has 1 Test century.
Shaking hands, you don't see that very often, do you?
No, you see a
But
lot
with
of.
gloves on.
I think they can do it because they've got
As you
gloves
said,
on.
you saw a bit of high-fiving or a bit of high-fisting earlier, but we won't go back to that again. 188 for 4, Crawley's onto 101. That was the end of the over. Butler now facing up to Nassim, who's bowling straight after the break. This is wide, full, and left alone by Joss Butler. Shall we jingle up Nassim and Joss there?
Well, we got this man batting.
Prior ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sutler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler. Just because he is Joss Butler. 1 S and 2 T's, Joss Butler.
And this man bowling.
When the sea shot left home, he said to his dad that you're the man of the house now because Nazim Shah is just that good.
I love the end to that jingle.
I know.
This is neatly played by Butler, just dropping onto the back foot and easing the ball into the gully, and there is no run. Well, what do we make of Crawley? One thing I'd like to say, I was thinking while I was watching the last 40 minutes before tea, is much as you might look at Monday and think it was a wasted day, that there was nothing to be gained from starting at 3:20 on the final day.
It was
when
good
he
for
only had
Crawley, wasn't it?
superb for Crawley, and he got himself a 50, got himself confidence, and he must love this ground, mustn't he? Because he got 76 here against the West Indies. Nassim in, outside the off stump, too wide, left alone. He must just love being in the bubble. He probably never wants to leave Southampton.
Yeah.
Well, who would?
Well, who would? I mean,
Yeah.
Southampton's such
Lots
a
of people.
glorious place. Yep.
I've never been to the GS Bowl.
I've been to cover some matches there back in the dim and distant future.
Well, I was doing a World Cup.
Did you
from
go back in the
bounty.
dim and distant future? I meant in the dim and distant past.
Yeah,
Yeah, could go
you really did, didn't you? But then that's because you look like Charles Dickens.
That's right. I'm living in the 19th century
Yeah.
at the moment. 188 for 4, Crawley 101, Butler 24. Here comes Nassim Shah, bowls to Butler, who drives, doesn't really get his foot out to the ball, but does enough to keep it along the ground. And Yasir Shah comes in at extra cover to do the fielding, and there is no run. So we've got 33 overs remaining this evening, well 32.2 now. Do you think it's possible that we're actually going to get away with a 6 o'clock finish?
No.
10 past 6?
Possibly, but my imagination runs to, funnily enough, 6:30. That's usually what happens, isn't it? Mind you, Yasir Shah's bowled a fair few overs, hasn't he? So if he bowls...
He's bowled 20 overs today, I think, so far. In comes Nassim. Bowls to butt outside the off stump, an exaggerated take by Mohammed Reed. And again, there is no run.
I mean, what? So they came out
Something on
56 overs bowled in the last session. So 4 overs over, that's 18 minutes, so about 20 past 6.
that's not so bad.
It's not so bad. It's better than 7:30.
Yeah.
Although there was the day in the last test where they called it off for bad light, and it called off at 3:20 in the afternoon. I found that very strange.
Indeed. Poor old Sammy Curran's there, just playing with a football on his own.
Oh, he does look like a poor lad on his own, doesn't he?
Nassim Shah bowls again, too wide of the off stump, not making Butler play. That's the end of the over. England remain 188 for 4. Annie!
Yeah, there's a bit of a thing on Crick Tracker between Sachin Sharma. Oh no, between Sachin Sharma and himself, saying, "Is it not live? Not fair, man. That's only com." I think I'm not quite sure whether we're live or not.
Yeah,
We
we're
are
live.
live! We are live!
You might have
the
caught.
cricket is live, but we're not showing you the live pictures because we're not allowed to. So
No.
do that, you have to listen to us.
No, but we're live.
We are painting pictures with our words.
Indeed.
That's the plan.
And Jeff Perkins says, Sodom and Gomorrah, a tale of two cities, God versus Dickens. That's you. And,
God versus Dickens.
You are.
I am God versus Dickens, yes. I think I'll change my Twitter handle right now.
And Jay Graver says, I really wanted to say something rude about Hendo, but he's looking mint. I'm going to have to save my insults. Damn it.
You're a bit at the bottom of the screen though, Hendo. Hendo, pull your screen towards
what's that,
you.
Bear? What's that?
Pull your screen towards you.
Oh, yeah, all right then. Mohammed Abbas bowls to Crawley, who defends on the front foot. Mohammed Rizwan has come up to the stumps to keep, which will bring Crawley back into his crease. He's been batting outside that crease by about 8 or so inches. And then every now and again he's starting to walk a little bit towards Mohammed Abbas as well. No fast bowler likes to see that. I'm not sure that many fast bowlers like to see keepers standing up to them. Anyway, it's maybe going to restrict him a little bit, help Mohammed Abbas with the length. He's onto the back foot. He doesn't grab this one, and it's gone past him, and it's running away from Shaheen Afridi, who is striding after it, slides, takes some time to gather the ball, and finally gets it into Mohammed Abbas by the stumps, but they've come through for 3 in the time that it took. 191 for 4.
Good, good shot there.
Really, that wasn't very good fielding off your own bowling, though, was it? Really?
No.
It's a little
Came
bit
back
soft.
quite quick though.
Did go back quickly. It was a lovely shot. Yeah, absolutely. But I can think of a number
He's
of
a class bat, isn't he?
who wouldn't have allowed that. He's a what?
Class bat.
Oh, he is classy. He's definitely very good. He's looked classy since he came into the England team. Even first couple of innings he didn't have much of a chance. Was that in New Zealand or was it in South Africa? I can't remember.
In
now.
New Zealand,
But
wasn't it?
On me, they all roll into one.
they do, don't
Yeah.
they? Although we're going to have to go now 4 months without a Test match. How are you going to survive, Annie?
I don't know.
No, me neither.
Do.
So-
T20s are all right. One day as a better for me, as far as I'm concerned, but no Test cricket for 4 months. Anyway, Mohammed Abbas into Joss Butler. Butler leaves a fuller ball, foot outside the off stump, and there is no run.
Well, like you, I've been trying to get into the CPL, but Danny Morrison just.
Oh,
I-
damn
I-
it, nice.
I'm sorry, I can't.
No.
It just doesn't do it for me.
No.
I love watching some of the players, but it's fun, but it.
It's a T20
Tell you what, though, I'll
tournament.
tell you what is quite good is that now that I'm working at home, as Mohammed Abbas bowls onto the back foot goes Butler, defends into the covers. There is no run. I can actually sit here, do my work on my laptop while watching the CPL.
Yeah.
Don't tell
Which
any
is
of my
what I'm
employers
doing.
that. Don't tell my employers, but they must be happy. Crawley 104, Butler 24. He's yet to score since tea. It's Joss, but he looked very compact, didn't he, before the interval, and played a couple of really nice cover drives.
He looks like he's got some confidence back, doesn't
He does. He does. Now let's watch him as the stumps cartwheel out of the
I
ground.
know.
He's onto the back foot, defends it into the onside of the
He's
pitch.
never very good after a break either. I don't like it when he goes for lunch or tea or drinks break. I think, that's the end of Joss.
I think he should be starved. That's the
Stay
only
out.
way to keep him in. Yes, exactly. Just lock the door to the pantry and don't let him in. So Mohammed Abbas just waits for the ball to be tossed to him from mid-on, where Shaheen Afridi is in attendance. And Abbas looking for his first wicket, 13 overs none for 39. Final ball of his 14th, in fact. And again, left alone outside the off stump. A little bit closer to that off stump, but well judged by Butler. And that is the end of the over. England 191 for 4.
Jay Graver says, "Hooray, mint! Now burn the badge, you diseased animal." That's what he's talking about you again, Hendo.
Earn what badge?
Well, the badge of looking mint.
Oh, the badge of looking mint. Well, I haven't
Possibly.
got one of those. Oh, maybe I'll have one made up for me before the next game.
And he also goes on to say, "Stop the fisting jokes, please. It's a busman's holiday for me."
Oh yes, well I suppose if you are doing tentacle porn on a daily basis, that will tend to be in quite a few of the stories.
Anna Forsyth says, "Well, that was just pure and lovely joy from Zach. Warms my cold dead heart."
Yes,
Aww.
takes a lot to warm cold dead hearts, but Zach Crawley is the man to do it. He's on 104 from 173 balls, 11 fours in that 100, and he's now waiting for Naseem Shah into his 12th over. Bowls and clips it away, beautiful shot. And in fact, there are two men posted, one at deep backward square, one at long leg, but that has been hit so well, timed so beautifully, that it's pierced them and it's gone for 4.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
So Crawley moves on to 108. He's really looked the business today. He does like to play shots, doesn't he? I mean, I can see that he will have problems from time to time when he's a little bit out of touch and things don't quite go for him. But he's a really good batsman to watch.
Highest score of 168 in first class.
Ah, right. I was going to look that up. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ferret around in Cricket Info and see what it was. But 168, so he's got a fair way to go to beat that. It's kind of good to have your highest score in a test match, isn't it? Onto the back foot it goes. Just drops this down into the offside. The ball rolls gently to Yasir Shah, and there is no run.
No, he's born in Bromley. I didn't realise that. Just down the road.
Just down the road from you, Bear.
Yeah, indeed. And he's only 22, so I mean, he's played 44 first class games. What's that? 3 seasons?
Yeah, just about. I think, yeah. I mean, this has been a strange season, really, hasn't it? Because he won't have played a lot of cricket, but he's played 4 test matches, or he's into his 4th test match of the summer. Naseem in, bowls, and he defends on the front foot, getting just outside off stump, directs the ball up to mid-on, and there is no run. Crawley 108, Butler 24. Naseem's ball to get rid of Root. What a corker that was.
It was, wasn't it?
Absolute beauty.
I mean, I'd just been slating all morning about how he gets himself out, and you can't complain about that. I mean, that was just
not at all. And it's quite interesting because by his figures, Naseem hasn't been bowling that well, but maybe Crawley has given him a bit of treatment from time to time.
I don't think he has been bowling particularly well today, so.
But he just produced a fantastic wicket-taking delivery. This one is driven slightly on the up by Zach Crawley, straight again to extra cover where Yasir Shah fields, and there is no run. I mean, that was 89 miles an hour. If you get the ball just to move a smidgen at 89 miles an hour off the pitch, it's going to be a very difficult prospect for any batsman, however classy they are. He's just gone down the wicket, Zach Crawley, to brush a little bit of loose turf, maybe, away, that had been kicked up by them running between the wickets, perhaps. And Naseem is on his way again. 2 slips in the gully, he's in, bowls, and he's onto the front foot, looking for a single as he pushes this up to mid-on, but he won't get one as Shaheen comes in to field. Score remains 195 for 4. Yes, Bear?
I read that Mohammed Yusuf is going to take over batting coach, isn't he, for Pakistan?
Well, he's pretty decent, isn't he? He's a pretty decent player.
He was a classy batsman.
I think you have to say. Yeah, absolutely wonderful batsman. Crawley settles down, looks to Naseem at the end of his relatively short run, coming in to complete his 12th over. He's in wide of the off stump, and that's beautifully played off the back foot, stood up tall, waited for it at the top of the bounce. And although, that said, maybe didn't time it as well as I thought, because Yasir Shah has managed to track it down, running back from extra cover, and they've got through for 3. Oh no, Zach Crawley is on Nelson, and the score is 198 for 4.
Doesn't matter if a batsman's on Nelson, does it?
No, I don't think it really matters. It's just the score, isn't it?
Are you doubting the great David Shepherd?
No.
Yes.
It's whether the score's on 100.
I thought it was 111 or any sort of divisible amount.
Well, oh yeah, like what?
But I thought it was
That
only.
said, you're probably not too bothered if you get out on 222,
No.
and if you get out on 333, well then you've probably got about the 5th highest score in Test cricket ever.
How about 444?
444 would be particularly good.
666 would be so good.
Well, no, maybe not. Not with its
Just prove who you are.
Mohammed Abbas. I keep wanting to say Zahir Abbas because I was brought up in his generation. Here he comes. He's a wonderful bowler. Just the one slip and a gully. And Mohammed Rizwan standing up. That one is left alone by Crawley, who's kept the strike. Well taken by Rizwan. It's been a treat to watch Rizwan behind the wicket, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've talked about this.
All this talk about batsmen that can keep a bit, and we've seen quite a few of those. But he's an old-fashioned wicket-keeper who can actually keep wicket and can bat a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Second slip comes in.
He stands up a lot, doesn't he?
He stands up to Mohammed Abbas, who's around about 78, 80 miles an hour. He's in again. Crawley goes back, forces up to mid-off. There is no run.
I dare say you get, it's harder to keep to a leggy on a spitting wicket, isn't it? I mean, in terms of the practice he gets about. I mean, we cussed Joss mainly for his keeping standing up, but in English conditions, you don't really get to stand up that much, especially as he doesn't play much county cricket anyway.
Well,
really.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Here is Mohammed Abbas again into Crawley. Crawley comes onto the front foot and then allows that to pass through to Rizwan. And again, there is no run. Any tweets, Annie?
Yeah, Jay Grave is saying, was Bear doing the World Cup? Tell us more. And not Fred Titmus says he's never mentioned it. I didn't know you were doing the World Cup, actually.
Yeah, no, he's very reticent to talk about that. He never talks
I could
about
talk about going to Barbados. I never talk about that either.
No.
Yeah, in comes Mohammed Abbas, bowls on the line of off stump, defended on the front foot, straight back to the bowler, and there is no run. Now he's never mentioned the dinner he had with Clive Lloyd and his missus. He's never mentioned the fact that he's driven Clive Lloyd, one of the great captains of cricket in history, I suppose, and he's just so modest, the Bear. That's what I like. He's so modest.
Yeah,
I do try.
Mohammed Abbas, none for 39 into his 15th over. It's still cloudy mainly at the Ageas Bowl. Driven, sumptuous shot from Crawley, but straight to extra cover, a yard or so either side. That would have sped away for 4. He'll be a little bit annoyed perhaps that he picked out the fielder there.
Not Fred said, imagine going to the West Indies and doing the World Cup.
Know who he means? I have no idea.
No, I don't know. Gosh.
Yeah. All I ever got to do during the World Cup was go to Sydenham and be asked to go from York to Birmingham in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Well, you also bought an air ticket to the West Indies.
Oh, and I did. Yeah, that was for the previous tour, the West Indies tour. Outside the off stump, left alone by Crawley. Maiden, 198 for 4 is the score. More tweets.
Jay Graver says also FUCK Danny Morrison. Thank you.
I'll go with
Someone
that.
else has joined in.
Yeah, I can agree with
Dr.
that.
Dan Diper's done us a lovely sketch of Azir Ali. It's got Pepsi written on it on his jumper. So.
What's Azir Ali doing in the picture? Because he's not really done a lot today.
He's just going like that, as far as I can see. I haven't brought it like that.
Oh, she's going like that.
Yeah.
What do I do next? I think that's the captain's signal for when he's completely lost it. Well, this partnership is now worth 71. When Root and Pope went in relatively quick succession, England were in a little bit of trouble. 127 for 4. They've moved on now to 198 for 4. Butler still yet to score since tees on 24. He's going to be facing up to Naseem Shah, who will bowl his 13th over. He's got one slip and a gully, a ring of 3 on the offside, a man at mid-wicket, a man at mid-on, and a long leg. There's possibly a man out on the cover boundary as well. I have to wait to see if the camera pulls back. In comes Shah, bowls him a bouncer. Butler bends forward and allows that to go over the back of his neck, and there is no run. Looking at the wickets, Burns went cheaply again for 6. Dominic Sibley possibly thought he was a long way down the wicket to be given out LBW, but was quite correctly sent on his way by Goff. Wonderful ball and a wonderful catch Nassim Shah's delivery, Mohammed Rizwan's catch in front of first slip, got rid of route. And Ollie Pope has got some work to do against spin, I would venture as an opinion. Here comes Nassim Shah again in. Bowl short, he pulls, he's going to get a run. He's first since tee, and it'll be just a single as Mohammed Abbas comes round from long leg to field, and England move to 199 for 4. And would you believe it? We're at Southampton, and for once the lights aren't on. The natural light cannot be overrun by the artificial light. How exciting is that?
It's a rarity.
It is a rarity. Really
So
is.
they were saying that basically the lights aren't good enough.
Well, it's not so much that. See, I think they're talking nonsense. Apparently, captains don't like it. They don't like. They do believe that the artificial light takes over from natural light, and it's therefore hard to see the red ball. I don't know how many times I have to make this point. When it's cloudy, and you're using a white ball, which you do through the first part of every ODI, pretty much. Anyone that's a day-night game. Seeing a ball dropping out of a sort of cloudy sky, a white ball that's got a bit scuffed up, is equally difficult. In comes Nassim Shah, bowls a full ball, in fact it's a full toss. He gets it low on the back, Crawley, and angles it out towards Yasir Shah at extra, and then has a little look at his back to make sure there isn't a split in the bottom, and it appears that there isn't. He remains 111 not out, Butler on 25. But no one brings that up in the press. I get angry. I get really angry when no one makes that point. Can you see
I
that?
can see your anger. What,
God and Charles Dickens' anger together is quite phenomenal.
The other thing you could do is you could.
It could make a noise as well.
Oh, yes, have put a little bell in it. Short ball. Oh, he goes for the pull shot. Does Crawley, and well, he could have got a little thin edge through. Rizwan was excited for a moment, but he didn't. Well, that's the danger of 111, isn't it, Annie?
Yeah, he should be standing on one leg.
He should. Now that would be fun, wouldn't it? If you had to stand on one leg after you got to 111.
You could do the flamingo.
You could play every shot has to be the flamingo shot, basically. That'd be quite good fun. We have 3 men out now for Crawley. We've got a man at, well, he's a man at backward square leg. He's probably about 10 yards back from where the umpire would be. We've also got a deep square leg and a long leg. He's in again, bowls, and he plays this into the offside square. And it's fielded by Babar Azam, I think it is. There is no run, 199 for 4.
Yes, slow progress.
What do we make of that guy behind square leg? What's that for? It's for the slightly mishit
Flap,
ball
isn't
shot.
it? Yeah.
The flap.
He doesn't get enough on it.
Is that one of your favourite shots, the flap?
Well, yeah, I do a lot of flapping when I'm out there. It's when he mishits a pull, isn't it? So just.
I suppose so. In comes Nassim Shah, bowls him a short one, and he pulls, and it doesn't matter how many people he got out there, he's still going to pick up a run. Abid Ali comes in off the boundary at deep square leg, and they are through for 1, and Croy can relax again. He's on to 112. England's 200 is up, 200 for 4 from 62 overs. Nassim finishes his 13th over with figures of 1 for 54, but what a one it was. Tweets.
Yeah, Peter Lloyd says, even more depressing way to see it. This is the last England test of 2020.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually, that is really grim.
It's going to be lots of short form shoveling shit for the next.
Yeah, but when is the next test scheduled? Isn't there? I mean, aren't Australia supposed to play Afghanistan in November? Because I might have to stay up and watch that.
Yes.
Yasir Shah is coming back into the attack. So Mohammed Abbas has had a little bit of a spell after tea, but he's replaced by Yasir. 2 for 60 from 19 overs. And here's one of the most wonderful jingles in guerrilla cricket history.
Oh, Yasir.
Not that one. He's in. Oh, has he played on there? Very nearly. He bowled him one outside leg stump. He went to sweep it, and he nearly dragged it all the way back round onto his leg stump. So that was a bit of an escape from Crawley there. Would have been an awful way to get out. Really would have been. But it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times. Jennings got out like that, didn't he? A couple of times in Sri Lanka on the sweep.
Yep. Here's Yasir again, right arm over, bowls to Crawley. Crawley props forward, defends the ball gently into the offside. Mohammed Rizwan comes round from behind the stumps to do the fielding. And Crawley decides to take guard again. He's asking for 2 legs. He's got 2 legs and he's asking for 2 more.
Did you? Did either of you get to see the clip of Waka Yunus playing with Yassir's hair?
No, I didn't. I'll come back to that as this is punched off the back foot all the way down to long off. And Crawley takes a single. England move to 201 for 4. Tell me more.
There's a long clip of him just sort of stroking his hair just endlessly, and apparently he was saying things to him like I love you like I love my son and things like that, which is lovely. They seem to have a very good relationship.
Oh, that's why they're so happy in this Pakistan team. I've noticed a lot of them smiling.
Oh yeah,
I like this Pakistan
such a smiley bunch.
Yassir in again, bowls to Butler. Butler goes back to a straight one, defends it all the way back to the bowler. That was what I was talking about, away from hair. Talking of people with lovely hair, hasn't Ollie Pope got gorgeous ginger hair? Saw him sitting out on the balcony there. I mean, he didn't look very happy because he got out for free.
I was just
It
thinking
looked sweaty, didn't it?
Oh, did it? In again, bowls, and Butler stretches forward, defends into the offside, no run.
I just thought that Joe Root with his Anis band, his slightly long hair, looks a bit like Robbie Savage.
No, can you imagine?
God.
Do not merge those two people together. Do not fuse them. There'll be an explosion, which will be quite unpleasant. Yassir in again. Ooh, that was a good leave by Butler. Really was. He left that. It was on the line of off stump. Maybe turned just a little bit over the top of off stump. Anyway, he's got away with it. And that is the end of the over. Yeah, I was talking about Ollie Pope. In terms of his hair's wonderful, but he has to work on the way he's playing spinners.
Yes, it's slightly different.
They were talking on Sky about the fact that the England batsmen seem to be finding it hard to pick up Yassir Shah's trajectory, and this is why they're going back. I mean, we know that Root loves to go back to the spinners. He likes that little bit of extra time and to play it off the pitch a little bit. But Ollie Pope's been doing it. Crawley's done it from time to time. The worry is when you've got someone as skillful as Yassir who can push that one through, it looks like the normal leg spinner, but it's a flatter one and it's a quicker one, and the ball hurries off the pitch. It doesn't stand up and turn. That's when you can get yourself into trouble. And that's what seems to be happening to Ollie Pope a little bit at the moment. So he's not the finished article, Ollie Pope, even though he has
nice hair.
He's nice hair, and he's played 2 or 3 really great innings for England. Naseem Shah starts a new over, bowls to Crawley. Crawley drives, and well done, Naseem Shah, in sticking out the boot, because otherwise that would have run away rapidly for 4, but he deflects it to mid-on instead, and there is no run.
I don't know why Jay Gray was telling us about the rubbish bins, but apparently they're beneath the chimney in his block's courtyard and they're getting cleaned and renovated.
Nice.
Well, that's good to know. To know.
Thanks, Jay.
Got a slightly dirty chimney. That's not a euphemism for anything. 201 for 4. Crawley 113, Butler 25.
You don't want a dirty chimney.
You really don't. This is pulled, is it? In the air. It is, but it's gone a long way. That might have gone all the way, has it? No, it's found the gap though, which is worth signals for lovely pickup from Crawley. He moves to 117. He's got all the shots, hasn't he, Crawley? He really has. He's a lovely batsman to watch. Although maybe some of his opposition won't feel it's that way. Anyway, they've got a man at long leg. They've got a man now going back to deep backward square leg, and a man at deep square leg. There's absolutely nobody on the leg side saving the single. This is an extraordinary field. There's a single anywhere you want it on the onside, basically. So I'm not quite sure what Naseem is going to do here. Is he going to drop it short and ask him to take it on, or is he going to keep the ball outside off stump? I'm curious. Anyway, here comes Naseem. The worst thing that could happen for Crawley is that he does pump it up in the air and get caught. Then he'll look very silly. Shah in. It is short. He goes onto the back foot, plays it into the offside. He won't be tempted. Very sensible batting.
He plays that well, doesn't he?
He does.
I was saying to Fred earlier that they call him Naseem Lilly, the team do, after Dennis Lilly.
Naseem what? Sorry, you broke up a little bit on that.
Naseem Lilly, after
Naseem
Dennis Lilly.
Oh, right, okay. Naseem Lilly.
Yeah, because he's got an action fairly similar to Lilly.
Is he? Has he?
He doesn't look
A
dissimilar.
little bit.
Maybe need to see it from side on. In comes Naseem. Bowls to Crawley. Crawley defends into the onside where there is the easiest of singles. maybe the easiest of signals as well. They signal they want to go through for 1, and he moves on to 118. England to 206 for 4. Nassim seems to have developed a little arc at the end of his run. Have a little look. He runs in very straight as if he's going to be very close to the wicket, and then veers ever so slightly away from the stumps before delivering. I didn't pick this up before. I don't know whether this is just something that's come into this game. I wonder if he knows he's doing it himself. Let's have another little look at it. We've got the man deep backward square has come up inside an imaginary circle, so there are still 3 men looking for a catch there. Here comes Nassim Shah, bowls, and he beats Butler outside the off stump as he pressed timidly forward, and it goes through to the Rizwan. There is no run. We'll have a change pretty soon. Tony should be in the waiting room reading his Reader's Digest, and
Is that what he's doing?
that's what he does in the waiting room. Yeah, it's either that or it's a Wet Woman's Weekly, isn't it? That's what you tend to get in GP surgeries, as Victoria Wood would probably say. So yeah, I hope he's enjoying that. Oh, there'll be an article about cricket written by Peter Roebuck. There's always a Peter Roebuck article. In he comes, bowls to Butler. Butler drops it into the onside, wants a single. Crawley was willing, but Nassim Shah was across, and there wasn't really a single there. That is the end of the over. 206 for 4. I'll tell you what, we'll do one more over, and then we'll let Tony come out of his bookwormish ways.
I've got a couple of messages on YouTube. So Yankee 7000 says 2 old hands at it. Don't know the lady, but good luck.
Don't know the lady.
Me. I'm the lady.
I'm an old hand.
In your and Havis Parvez says, "Hi Grillas, Havis Parvez Ahmed from Kolkata, India. You are doing a fabulous job. I'm
thank you
enjoying
very
every
much.
moment of your comments and your quitting cricket knowledge. Thank you."
Oh, that's lovely. I'm going to go on. I'm going to get straight off. Go to YouTube, but I'm just going to look the next half an hour because that will make me feel better.
Just
about
keep
myself.
reading it.
Yes, it's sure to continue. If there are any falls in this over, I won't be able to tell you about them because the Bears scarpered off again. In comes Yasir Shah, quite wide of the crease, goes for the sweep, and that is a dangerous stroke. Appeal from Yasir Shah. I would be inclined to review that, surely. Surely you'd review that, wouldn't you?
They're not, though, are they?
They don't seem to be.
No.
Pakistan have lost one review, a Joss Butler alleged edge that wasn't an edge. But this one, unless it's pitched outside leg, it could have bowled. Did he get a bottom edge on that?
There was a bottom edge.
I think he got a
on
bottom
that.
edge, yeah. I think that's what saved him
I
there.
think they know.
Slightly risky shot though. This one, again, on the line of leg stump, is defended straight to mid-wicket. And again, there is no run. Butler 25. As we see again, that wicked delivery really from Nassim that got rid of Joe Root. Turned him round completely. Wonderful delivery. Forward comes Crawley, just guiding this out square on the offside. It was nice to see Fawad Alam get a bowl, wasn't it, just before tea?
Yeah.
He
He bowls very wide of the crease, doesn't he?
He does very wide, yeah. He bowls darts, as they said.
Yeah.
But he's got to do something. I'm glad he's got something in his revived Test career. This is punched off the back foot to a man at short mid-off. And Crawley seems a bit annoyed that he didn't hit that square and pick up a run for it. He's now faced 200 balls. He's on 118. And England are 206 for 4. Yasir Shah, 2 for 61, is in again. Outside leg stump. This one's tickled away confidently through square leg. They'll take the easy single. Crawley moves to 119. England 207 for 4. Is Tony in the waiting room yet, Bear?
Oh, yeah.
He is, all right. Okay, so I think it's you three. Next.
Yeah, I seem to be on for the entire thing now because I've taken over from Jono.
Well, Jono's had other things he's had to do.
Yeah, well, you're you're not really, are you, Bear? Because you're hardly there.
Down the wicket comes Butler and shanks this horribly. He sort of overran it, if anything, and yorked him. Got a thick inside edge. Yorked himself. Got a thick inside edge down towards long leg and picks up the single. He'll keep the strike. England are 208 for 4, and it's time for a bit of the Bish. Welcome, Bish. Hello and goodbye.
I heard something about wet women.
Yeah,
Which perked up my interest, I have to say. Not that you were being dull in any way, shape or form, I might point out.
what are you saying?
Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
I mean, we've been entertainment itself.
Well, as indeed has the cricket been. moment of history for Zach Crawley. You'll only ever make your maiden test once, test 100 once.
And a lovely test maiden it was.
It was beautifully composed.
No, he's batted well. He's batted really well. It's
Yeah.
funny. We were talking about bouncers earlier, and would England, succumb to the trap? And it reminded me of that game against India, first series we covered, and at Lords, I think Ishant Sharma got 7 wickets, of which 6 were England playing it straight to the man.
Mohamed Abbas is going to continue. 2 slips for him, left alone by Joss Butler, who's playing sensibly within himself, you might say, Annie, for Joss. But that's probably the right thing to be doing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I think he's sort of laid sort of his batting critics aside, and after his last performance, he's feeling more confident and able to play as he wants to play, and not what he thinks he should be playing. Is my thoughts. I know him so well.
In comes Mohamed Abbas, clipped off his hip by Joss Butler down to deep backward square. It'll get him a single. It'll bring the Centurion Zach Crawley on to strike. Am I right in saying it was a chanceless 119 as well, Bear? I don't recall any.
I do believe so. There was a couple of sort of mishits that just went over fielders and just dropped short of somebody, but he certainly didn't get dropped.
And there was, we were just seeing Yazir Shah going through some limbering up exercises. I would expect him to continue. He started very promisingly, but sort of somewhat fell away, didn't he? Cut off the back foot by Crawley, away through point. No point in chasing that. It's 4 more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Didn't he play that nicely?
He did indeed.
Watched it under the eye line, angled the bat. That is the shot of a man who's feeling at one with himself and his bat, because he played that quite magnificently. A textbook shot. If you have a chance to watch it again, I would. 213 for 4 England, 65 and a half overs. So we will see the new ball today. If it's a big if, of course, if these two were still around for that'll be an interesting challenge for Joss and Crawley. We shall see. In comes Abbas, left alone, and Mohammad Rizwan, who of course is standing right up to Mohamed Abbas, who's bowling at a comparatively stately 75 miles an hour now.
Well, yeah.
And Rizwan is happy enough to occupy a spot breathing over Crawley's right shoulder, pretty much.
Do you think if these two are still there at the new ball comes, England will be on 260-ish if they carry on at the current run rate?
Yep. It would be an achievement for these two to be doing that. That one is again the bat angled, but it's a way to cover point. Yazir Shah. Did you see that video of Yazir Shah having his hair rather lovingly stroked?
I was just talking about
You were
that.
just I missed that. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
it's
otherwise engaged.
It was so lovingly, wasn't it? And it was a long time. And then you had this sense that one of the players came up and said it's being filmed, and then they stopped.
It's not a manly thing to be doing, is it?
Yes, but it was so tender. It was kind of like,
It was lovely. But life in the bubble.
Well, he has got nice hair.
In comes Abbas, and that one is I'm not quite. It seemed to beat Crawley. Rizwan, I think, tried to throw it up in the air and didn't sort of catch it on its way back down again. There was no edge involved. It's the end of the over. And Annie, are you on social media duties?
I guess I am again. Yes. I'm happy to, because Bear looks like he's doing a lot, and he keeps going out and getting crumpets. So,
well, he's been like a bear on a locked-in roof today, hasn't he?
That's right. I think
there are things to do here.
Down like a lady's undergarments.
Yes. We've got Dr. Dan Diaper. Hello, Dr. Dan has sent Fawad Alam picture. Portraits before tea, he's calling it. He does some good sketches.
Yazir Shah it is, so no surprise, as he was going through that limbering up. Hair fully stroked into place, and back down the track. It is pushed to him by Joss Butler. A wary Joss Butler, 27 off 66. Playing every ball on its merit, not going chasing the ball. The Butler we want to see for some of those of us who want to see his career flourish. And there it was again. Down the track he comes, straight over the bowler's head for 6 runs. Well done, Joss. It was there to be hit.
Yes.
Was it 6?
Hitting the bad balls, you see.
Was it 6 or 4?
I thought
6,
it was 6.
I think.
Umpire's not being a lot of help.
I thought it was on
They're
24.
Helping your jingles, is
Did
he?
you see it bounce, Bear? We're going to watch. Let's watch it again for you. It was 6. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give it 6 anyway.
How come they haven't got a sponge out there?
Well, that's been a topic of some discussion today, why the rope has reappeared. But I'm not sure I ever heard what the answer was as to why.
I wonder
it's
why
a
that
rope,
discussion
not a
was going on
sponge.
earlier. Yeah, that is kind of odd.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
Because there was some tweet conversation about rope burn versus sponge something or other. This one is nicely played away into the offside, but there'll be no run.
Ah, that was it. That was
There's a
sponge
man at
plump.
cover.
I was wondering what sponge plump was, but that must be from.
Sponge plump.
Yes, someone said, "What do you think is worse, sponge plump or rope burn?" I was like, "What's sponge plump?"
Well, I don't know. I understand the rope burn. Hopefully, is that a replay? Because
No,
if
that's not a replay.
He's done exactly the same thing again.
That's
And that
enormous.
definitely is 6. Obviously playing within himself.
I love that.
Well, this is where Pakistan have a problem. They've only got 3 seamers and Yasir Shah, and Yasir Shah's already in his 22nd over. The new ball's 15 overs away.
But again, as is often the way, if you're a young
enormous.
batsman watching this, watch the footwork. The feet were right to the pitch of the ball. The bat went through its full arc. The head was still, and I don't think there was a moment's doubt in Jos Buttler's mind where that was going to go. So 2 sixes off the over, and Jos Buttler appears to have flipped a gear here, Annie. Or
Yeah,
flipped
and
2 or 3 gears.
I think my son's just seen it on the TV downstairs because I just heard a big shriek.
Oh, well, you don't want to go and check?
No,
Something more sinister
No,
happened.
it's behind. Down the television is behind.
Oh, right, okay.
What I'm watching, so.
So you're pretty sure that's what it was. He had
Yeah.
fallen over and something terrible happened.
No.
No, yes, here's Shah, 2 for 75, 12 of which have come off this over. He's in again. And Jos Buttler says, right, that's a decent ball, that's a full length, that's not one I'm going to go and hit for 6. I'm going to play that very defensively. That is a replay of the one we
Yeah.
seen before when he didn't defensively.
I think he was listening to you and he heard you saying he's playing within himself and he thought,
probably did.
Sod
He
Tony.
He probably thought, if it's that Bishop and Chave on again together, I'm going to show him.
Oh, that's
As
a
that one is
shot.
driven again by Jos Buttler away through an extra
beauty.
cover. What a sumptuous cover drive that was. It's 4 more. Also the end of the over. It's the end of the over. It'll be Crawley onto strike. Buttler has raced, I say, onto 43.
Yes, he took a long time to get 1 run and then that over. He's definitely trying to see him off, isn't he?
Well, this is you'll appreciate the fact he's a watchful start.
It's a
technically
very
correctly.
Stokesy kind of an innings, isn't it?
It's day 1 of 5. You don't have to go chasing off like a rabbit from a what's it?
Sack.
They've
Yes.
lost the ball. See, this wouldn't happen if you had a crowd. And that's the other.
I've got a few tweets. So Neymar Butlin says, my dog is looking at me with a wary eye after we were practicing fielding with a tennis ball and I hit him in the head. Sorry, Rugby. I presume the dog's called Rugby.
Poor Rugby.
James says, next ICC WTC match is New Zealand and West Indies in November, according to my notes. There may be other test matches around or before then, though I've only been tracking the WTC ones.
Is that? I presume that's in New Zealand. I don't want to be doing that. If it was in the West Indies, I'd be tempted to do it.
And Daniel Sved says, par score on this pitch, 300, 350? I think we'd be looking at least 350, come on.
Well, you've got to be looking first at 250. You've got to do it in increments, haven't you? You don't want to lose another wicket before 250. And then you want to expand a little bit to 300. And if these two still there at 300, then you go. But then you don't know what happens. I mean, we thought there was a match earlier in the summer, wasn't we? We thought we were going to get 500, and then we were all out for 380 in the end. And that was only...
No, we like to do that.
Both of these teams, as we've oft discussed, have a rapid tumble of wickets within them, don't they?
Yeah,
No matter
absolutely.
how solid and secure they may look.
Well, it's always difficult to start, isn't it? I mean, no matter how good you are, first 2 or 3, 10 balls you face.
Mohammed Abbas, 30 years old, is going to continue. He has 2 slips, and that one bit inside edgy goes down to long leg from Crawley. Would imagine he'll come back for 2. Yes, he will. So he'll move on to 125. What's this partnership currently worth?
Over 100 now, I think.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to have a quick.
I'll have a look. You carry on.
Tell we haven't got Knackle with us, can't you?
Yeah.
Partnership's worth 102, which is not too bad at all.
Yeah, it's a lovely part, and both playing very eye-catching cricket. Like I said earlier, it's they're both nice to watch.
Well, there's an amazing amount of cricket seems to be going on.
In comes Abbas again. Forward comes Crawley.
Just nobody able to come and see them.
Right, okay. So there's the Isle of Man tour of Guernseys going on, but that's yet to start. The Premier League tournament Tier A, I don't know what that is, but it's in Katunayake. Where's that?
It's where? Sorry.
Katunayake. It sounds like it's Colombo. Oh, so it's in Sri Lanka.
Easy for you to say.
And it's a Super 8.
Abbas in again. Flicked off his hip. Straight to mid-wicket once more. No run.
So that must be first-class cricket in Sri Lanka, I presume.
Yep,
yeah, and Mike Mehal Wood says if anyone wants to do the Australia v India series, I'm expecting a serious stint in quarantine in Sydney around that time.
Well, it's being.
So
we have been chatting about it, we're giving it some thought. Of course, we've got Australia over here first, haven't we, for a one-day series and a couple of T20s. Bear, am I right?
I think.
Or is it just one day
3
against
ODIs,
the
3
Aussies?
T20s, I think.
Not to mention our T20s against Pakistan. That takes an edge. And
was it put down?
We need to have another look to see. I have a feeling that might have been a drop.
I thought it went into the ground.
You thought it went into the ground?
I thought it was a pretty good stop, actually.
We're looking at Azhar Ali, who... let's have a look. Well, I'm not convinced, having seen that from him. We're going to get a better angle here. One hopes if the cameraman was quick enough. I don't think he was he?
No.
Or she? The camera person, we don't know. In comes Mohammed Abbas again. The bat dropped on it. Straight to gully, though, from Zach Crawley. Guess what? Hovering around that 77 to 79 mile an hour band as ever is the consistent Mohammed Abbas. He did absolutely put his foot right down on the accelerator and go from 79 to 80 at one point earlier. But he's back in his more standard Sunday driving quickish medium mode. Actually, that's a little bit harsh. It's slightly quicker than quickish medium, but it's definitely that's what it is. He's going to be in again. 2 slips go down ready. Waited for by Crawley. The bat dropped on it. Trickles into the offside. No run.
It was good over.
It was relentlessly accurate.
Jay Grover says, Annie, he was just showing how to apply highlights while concealing the roots. You see, that's what he was doing. He wasn't just playing with his hair. Jay Grover says, bin Trustarian drug trauma. Bear would find it funny.
What's that? What?
I kind of got lost in the middle of that
The
one.
bin thing with Jay Grover. Right. Jeff Perkins says Charles Dickens's unpublished Mr. Henderson's chimney sweep exam.
Oh,
the
Mr.
horrific
Henderson.
exploitation of young boys forced to clean wealthy gentlemen's dirty chimneys. God versus Dickens. I don't know if you heard earlier, but yes, Hendo said something about having a dirty chimney and said it wasn't a euphemism.
Well, he's not having a good day for euphemistic things, is he, Hendo? As that one is away into the offside. I wouldn't call this morning's opener a euphemism at all. It was just downright filth. Only subsequently realised. Ross Butler stands tall, waiting again for Yazir Shah, who skips in. He's not lost the skip in his step, despite the fact he's gone for a few. And Butler just plays this back to him. Playing their own game together, I think, these two, Yazir Shah and Joss Butler, enjoying the cut and thrust of the challenge. We're looking at young Nazim Shah. Left by Butler, very deliberate, big front foot, bat held high through to Rizwan. 2:31 for 4 are England. We're closing in on the end of the 69th over. Yes, here Shai has that towel behind him for ball management. That's nicely played by Butler. Just drops the bat, steers it to cover, jogs a single. A shot of a man in control, Annie, I'd say.
Yeah, he's looking like the Butler I know and love rather than a bit of a scared rabbit.
Yes, indeed. 2:32 for 4. In again comes Yazir Shah. Crawley plays him off the back foot. And there were shades of Ollie Pope there, because he really had to speed the bat down. Yeah. That didn't get up, did it? And that's exactly the ball that did for young Pope.
Absolutely, there's definitely still some
ecclesiastical brother. Forward comes Crawley, and this time, as if having learnt, once again listening to the wisdom of Chief Bishop, decides I'm not going to play that off the back foot. Puts a big front foot forward, and everything looks a lot more secure.
On YouTube, David Collicutt says this could be a very exciting partnership. Well, I think it is quite an exciting partnership. And he's also said, has Jonathan Trott had an influence on Zach Crawley? I should imagine so. I mean, he's been there a while, and there are some elements of Trott about him.
Yeah. He's got the advantage of being very tall, hasn't he?
Yes.
Zach Crawley. So you know, when you get
you
that
think
front
that's an
foot forward,
advantage?
You could argue it both ways. I mean, if the ball keeps low, it's probably less of an advantage. But when you put that big front foot forward, I would imagine, I'd be really interested to hear what the Bear thinks, but I would have thought against spin.
Tweet up.
When you're trying to get a front foot forward to take the spin, to kill the spin, as it were, the longer the leg, the better the opportunity you have to do that, I would have thought. Bear,
well,
what do you say for that?
I mean, generally, I think that's the case. But it said that shorter people are better players of the pull shot. Don't know why that would be, but
probably out of necessity.
Yeah, possibly.
Because you're right. I mean, Tendulkar, not a tall man. He's a wonderful puller of the ball, wasn't he? We're going to see Shaheen Shah Afridi. He's a man who's got plenty of hair to stroke if anyone's in the mood to do it, and that's left alone and dies on its way through to Rizwan. Really didn't get up at all, and it was we're down in Mohammed Abbas 80-mile-an-hour territory there.
I love this from Jay Grover. He says, Bear is there and yet not there. He is in the Zen crumpet Buddha.
He's the Zen crumpet. Who is it who has the box, the cat in the box?
Dr. Zeus.
Simultaneously there and not there.
Oh, Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat. Yes, Schrodinger. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes. In comes Shaheen Shah Afridi, and well played by Joss Butler into the offside, no run. Little bit quicker, not by much, but enough. Joss Butler seems to be seeing it well, seems to be giving himself time. These are all signs of a batsman in their groove. When you start to look hurried, it's kind of cause and effect sometimes, isn't it, Annie? You can look really hurried because you're not quite getting your movements right yourself, and then it's sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. It tends to get worse. The moment he's looking unhurried and technically more correct.
Well, I did say ages ago that he's a confidence player, and then everyone's like, everyone's a confidence player, but I think it isn't as simple as that. I think
no, it never
to
is.
play like Butler plays, you need that inner confidence that some people don't.
The fact, well, that was I mean, the fact is, as it's the end of the over, I think. Am I right? No.
No, it's halfway through.
I tell you what, it's because every so often that corner piece of captioning on the screen appears to change colour, and that's fooled me more than once today. In comes Shaheen Shah Afridi, well played by Butler, dabs it down to gully, no run. Were his wicket keeping faultless, people would be less critical of his batting. Were his batting faultless, people would be less critical of his wicket keeping. He had a bit of a not but I think people, unless he can really technically improve some of the aspects of his wicket keeping.
No, I agree, but to be fair, it has been all about his batting before the last couple of.
Yeah, true. In comes Shaheen
Yes.
Shah and left again by Joss Butler. Mohammed Rizwan.
Oh,
Very fluid movement as he skips to one side, picks up the ball, sweeps and throws it to first slip. Sorry, Bear.
well, it's always easier to criticise someone if you think you're going to lose, isn't it? You know, I mean, the fact that he dropped Shah Massoud and missed a stumping, both when he was on 40-odd runs, and it looked like we were probably going to get stuffed in that Test match, and it was only through his batting in the end that saved us. So he kind of pulled it back, but up until that last session of the day, I mean, we said we were going to lose. So.
Shaheen Shah Afridi again. Nicely driven away through cover. That was a terrific shot. Now, is the ball going to win this? I think it jolly well is.
It is, isn't it?
It's hitting that rope now. It's 4.
It's a very slow outfield, isn't it?
It is. It is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But a gorgeously executed drive
He does
through
play that
covers.
shot well.
He does. He does.
Got an interesting thing from Sports Tiger saying previously Joe Root was the last number 3 to score a Test century on home soil for England. His knock came against Pakistan at Old Trafford in 2016.
Wow.
That was just
Well,
There you go.
50-odd.
That's a long while, isn't it? Anna
Was that his
Forsyth,
254?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Sorry?
think that was Joe Root's
Oh.
254.
Anna Forsyth said that if I was Joss Butler, I would simply hit every ball for 6. Yes. And Jay Graver says, sponge pump, another busman's holiday. Please be more wholesome. Any more tales of Bishop and Cherry naked and I will cry. Oh yeah, we won't go on. It wasn't
No,
me
well, you
naked,
started
was
it this
Tony.
time. It didn't cross our minds as this one was flicked to mid-on. They have to hurry. And they do take a single. Yes, we probably shouldn't go there again.
Well, Jay Graver brought it up.
The Holiday Inn Express in, I can't remember, in Bristol, wasn't it? Good Lord.
In January, Tony. I have never forgotten the day.
Is that when my bloody phone got drowned? I came to meet you at the station and it was a deluge of absolutely torrential proportions. So my phone wouldn't work for the rest of the evening because it got soaking wet.
That's right.
Anyway, in comes Yazir Shah. Flips this. And it's a little bit of leg break, but away from the right-handed Butler. Started wide of the stumps and kind of just moved a little bit further wide. Not one to threaten Joss at the moment. He's within 2 of a landmark for himself. This one, he waits, cuts, but cuts straight to cover. Again, no run. So 2:37 for 4. Run rate still around about 3.3, 3.4. Yazir Shah is in onto the back foot. Goes Butler again. He plays this away into the offside. Looking a little bit frustrated there. I think he feels that there's a couple of these balls he could have done better with, and that 50 would be up by now.
Yeah, just relax, John.
Yeah, exactly. He just needs to relax, get himself over that 50 hump. And
Easily said. I thought, by the way, for a maiden century, Zach Crawley carried himself through the 90s with great control,
Yeah.
even over tee. Flicked beautifully away by Joss Butler. They will take one. They will come back for 2. That is a 50 for the off-maligned, but now looking remarkably solid Joss Butler. Well played.
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Onto the back foot he goes again. That's his 18th 50 in 47 games, just the 1 century. And that one's away to point again. He seems to love that shot to point, doesn't he? Just steps back, plays it off the back foot, punches it solidly, but it's almost as though he knows the fielder is there.
Yeah. And the thing with Joss is that he is so hard to put a field to because he is plays shots all over, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really, I mean, he's good at the ramp. He's good at the switch.
yeah.
Oh,
He's just good.
Love along. It's a Butler love along with
Yes.
Annie.
You're back in love, Annie.
He's got all the shots: the ramp, the switch hit, the cover drive, on drive, off drive. Any other shots you want to name that Joss is just brilliant at? In comes Shaheen Shah Afridi.
I won't.
Oh, there is. Well, it's Crawley this time, but it is a
That's
sumptuous,
beautiful.
sumptuous cover drive, and it's 4.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
Little bit, possibly overpitched. But again, those bigs, that's where your height, one's height, Crawley's height more specifically, does come into it. Because if you look at that replay, he was just a giant stride takes him further down the wicket, so right to the pitch of the ball. And it's a build that enables you to play those kind of shots with perhaps a bit more confidence. 147 for Shaheen. In he comes. He's around the wicket to the right-handed Crawley, who this time gets everything in behind it, pushes it back down the track. There is no run. To 43 for 4. So we've seen a maiden ton for Zach Crawley. We've seen a 50 for Joss Buttler, and these two have done a splendid piece of repair work when Root and Sibley and particularly Ollie Pope, I think it was Pope and Root after lunch, wasn't it?
Yep.
That was flicked nicely but straight to mid-wicket. Yeah, when those two went fairly quickly, you did think our friends who frequently tweet the word doomed at us could probably be in the game.
In fact,
they're a long way from a good score, but they're doing well.
Spangly Sai said, "I officially retract my is the clap starting tweet from earlier." So
well, there we are.
Well, now he's officially retracted it. That's it. We are doomed now, aren't we? Of
course. Oh no!
Well,
Don't
an official retraction. In comes Shaheen Shah Afridi around the wicket, flicked off his legs again, but straight to mid-wicket. They will take a single this time, though. Good running. Now, I like to see that there. I like to see the fact that we're getting sort of later on in the day. One man on 130, one man on 50. Very big partnership. They're still looking to keep that scoreboard ticking.
Well, they should be. I mean, the Pakistan bowlers will be quite weary. The ball is 70. This is the 72nd over. There's a new ball due in 8 overs after this one. This is the time you should be cashing in.
Yeah, no, that will always be a consideration because we're going to be later on in the day. I think some cloud cover, although we've got decent sunshine there at the moment. I would be surprised if we'll just hold that thought for a second as Shaheen is in. Inside edged onto his toes by Joss Buttler. Our hands go above heads, oohs and ahs amongst those Pakistan fielders. That's the least secure shot he's played for a while, Annie.
That was a slower ball. It was just a little off cut. He just rolled his fingers over it. It was 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And, it drew a full shot from Joss, but his feet weren't really moving on that occasion. So he was, for once, reaching for a ball without his...
But once he's not perfect, what can I say?
Well, no, we all make mistakes, but it was easy to see the technical flaw on that particular instance. Shaheen Shah Afridi is in again.
Oh.
And this much better played by Buttler. He's able to wait for it, play it late, dab it down to gully, and there's no run.
Just seen his 50 now. I've got a tweet from Jay Grover that says, serious comment to Tony. Just read Hamilton's new book. It reads like a parody of him, but still jolly good. And I just want to say that I've read it, and as well, and I agree with you. But it is a beauty.
Hamilton.
Yep. I look forward to that.
Have you not read it?
I haven't read it yet. No.
Have you got it?
Not yet.
Oh.
Who are we talking about?
I tend to stack up my reading based on who I'm interviewing next.
Yeah, and we've interviewed. Well, you've interviewed him, and I interjected.
Yeah, I did a very interesting interview yesterday with. Richard, help me out. Last week stand. Richard Clark, of course. Sorry, Richard, if you're listening. I had a momentary
It's a really interesting book. I've just finished that.
It is. Well, and so I am a man of a certain age, though as you may have noticed. And it certainly spoke to me in a number of ways.
Yeah, it spoke to me because he's exactly the same age as me.
Really, I wouldn't have believed that. He looks so young.
Thank you, Tony. Right, I'm off.
244 for 4.
Come on.
Yes-ish. Oh, he's going to carry on. He has he's at 2 for 83. It's not his age, but it's not a number he's going to be particularly happy with. Reverse swept by Zach Crawley, and don't chase that, it's already at the rope. Well, do you know what?
He's getting a bit of tap, isn't he?
Well, do you know what, Annie? I nearly said what a shot that was from Butler. Because you could add that to the list of shots that your Joss plays so magnificently. But it was a shot more akin to a Butler in attacking mode than you might have expected to see.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. He's got to take a lot of weight at the bowling in this attack.
Yeah.
Yep. No,
so if they don't,
very much so.
If they don't win the toss and bat first, so they A, get runs on the ball, but B, get last use of the wicket, you know, he's into the attack pretty much first or second change on the first morning.
I'll let you read it, Annie. There's a tweet from an Indo who's past his bedtime, I would have thought, but that's how captivating listening to us can be. In comes his Shah. It's again reverse swept by Crawley. Is it for the same result? No. Pakistan have placed a man down there. Well, what would be deep backward point, but he's sort of turned it into square leg by reverse sweeping it. Yes, and Indo was pointing out, I think you'll find that he at 50 he called it would be the day for Crawley's maiden century.
Well done, Indo. I think you're rather good at this prediction.
The oracle of guerrilla cricket, the man who foretells the future. 249 for 4. Is Shah coming around the wicket? Nicely just pushed away to mid-wicket again by Butler, I beg your pardon. So he'll move on to 51.
We've got
Shah has 3 balls left of this over.
We've got Grits and Grats back. He said he left the BBC for guerrilla cricket and now seeing the better, more entertaining version. B Bishop, C Jave. I like it. Very good.
Very good. Very good. I like that very much. Again, he waits for it and steers it backward of square. Takes another single. Does Crawley. He'll move on to 137. Butler 51. England 251. So that 250 is up. Partnership now well in excess of 100. These two have really turned things around for England at a time when many of the doom mongers were mongering their doom.
Is that what you do, monger doom?
Well, I don't know. If you have a doom monger, then presumably you monger doom. Monger doom, that sounds like a title. Oh, that was Brigadoon, wasn't it?
Brigadoon, yeah, the village that came every 100 years.
Yep. Flicked. I wonder if they had a cricket team. As this was flicked away to leg. You'd only play once every 100 years. But you'd have to make the most of it. That was flicked to leg by Crawley. 137 by Butler, I beg your pardon. 52 for Joss. 137
Get your Crawleys and your Butlers right. Toby.
Well, it's because they've just started playing the similar shots to each other. This one down the track, that is Crawley. It's an off drive, I beg your pardon, but there's a man at deep wide mid off.
I'd be tempted to give Yasir Shah a little break here, you know, and bring forward alarm on.
No, I think so.
And then I guess you try and whoever's at the other end bowls until 80, and then you get whoever hasn't bowled takes a new ball, because that should get you through to the end of the day. 5 overs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's getting quite a lot of tap.
He's getting quite a lot of tap. He's looking quite tired.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that to a point, Bear, but against that, both of these batsmen appear to be developing a bit of a taste for the slower bowling.
And you think that might bring a wicket?
Which could mean when you've still got 7 overs, you could ship a lot of runs if you went with that strategy. And I'm not entirely sure that.
But that's what I mean. But then if they do that, if they go back to 2 pace bowlers, one of them is going to have bowled 3 or 4 overs by the time a new ball comes. In fact, 2 of them would have done.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first. Rivaling an Indo for the oracle of the man who has a crystal ball and indeed a wooden leg and a glass eye, has said that Farwad Alam will bowl, and he will.
It may have been 10 years since he last played in a test,
Maybe they didn't pick him, cause he just needed a rest. You could have watched all a Game of Thrones and gone on your own way.
Well, I thought you were going to come in there, Tone.
No, well, I was, but you know, you don't, we try not to talk over jingles. Anyway, it was just pushed away into the offside. There was onside, I beg your pardon. There was no run. He has a slip in place to the right-hander.
Oh, nice.
Dab swept by Crawley down to long leg. Should help himself to 2 there. Indeed he does. Moves on to 140. Another landmark is in sight. Is he going to get a daddy? Is his first?
Well, we were talking about his highest.
Daddy. He's already looking good.
His highest first score was 167, I think. Like I said earlier.
His high first class score over
168.
168. In comes forward Alam. Onto the back foot goes Crawley. Punches it away through to cover. They take another quick single. And there's 3 balls left of this over. Let's see if Joss Butler's eyes avariciously light up with the prospect of a bit of boot filling, or whether he will keep himself in check. All is yet to be seen. 256 for 4. In comes Fawad Alam. Keeps himself in check. Nice, safe, secure little push to that wide mid-off, and they take another single.
You're not outside 257 for 4, do you? You just got to take every ball as it comes. It's only the first day. Get that score
very true
up.
indeed.
You know, these two get that
What's
score up.
the weather looking like for the rest of the test?
The next couple of days are looking all right. I think today was really quite windy as well. I mean, it's blown a gale down here.
You can see it.
And so it can't be easiest to bowl in gale-like conditions. I think over the weekend the wind is certainly going to die. Temperature's not going to get too high. I sound like a BBC weatherman, don't I? But I don't think there's going to be. Any rain.
No storms.
Yeah, I don't think there's any rain. I don't know.
You're a good weatherman, Bear.
You look like a very relaxed weatherman there.
I'm always.
You could do the sweary weather. It would be brilliant. Fawad Alam. He's got 2 balls left to bowl. He's bowling this one to Zach Crawley, who reverse dabs him down to he sort of turned it into long leg, but in reality it should be third man, but they take 2 anyway.
That's a man with confidence at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, nicely played. Winviz, by the way, has England at 72, Pakistan at 2. Winviz, I mean, I love a lot of their work, but sometimes you just think, how can you possibly tell that at this stage?
Exactly, it's a load of bollocks, I'm sorry.
Says the sweary weatherman. Forward comes Fawad Alam. Forward comes Butler.
And Fawad Alam.
We're going to change, but after 1 more over.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of tweets to read. So,
okay,
Mike Mehalwood said, please cover Australia v India. I volunteer to commentate if you'll allow my dulcet Rochdalian tones. I promise slightly less rambling anecdotes than Gary Naylor and slightly worse pronunciation than Knackle.
Gracie Fields. I always take a Gracie Fields.
Jay Graver says, we all know how Butler gets his inner confidence. And Forsyth says, you lot are too distracting. I almost forgot to log on so I can start working. Sorry.
Oh, well, hopefully we're entertaining.
Distracting and entertaining. Sports Tiger is keeping everybody up to date with lots of updates on what's happening, like Butler's 50. Hafiz Parvez says, hello Gorilla Cricket, this is Hafiz Parvez. I'm giving you first message on Twitter. You were doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hafiz. And Jay Graver says, folks, he's going to hope he got receipts for his voodoo dolls. He should know not to question Butler's blood magic. And we'll get to, and I think we're almost up. No, well, we're getting there. Tony, before I go, says Jay Graver.
Hello, Jay.
Have you acknowledged that the Yasir Shah was Jingle Electric 6 yet?
What, rather than half man, half biscuit?
Yeah.
Do you know what, Jay? I suspect you're likely to be more right than me on those matters. To me, I know that it was the effing hell it's Fred Titmus, and I'm very sure that was half man, half biscuit. And I thought that's what it was adapted from. So much so that I was actually playing it last night for some strange reason, which I won't go into now.
What, the Yasir Shah jingle? It's the Electric 6, Gay Bar.
Oh, okay. But you also know there is a song called Fucking Hell, It's Fred Titmus, which just happens to be a song about a spin bowler mysteriously appearing. In funny places.
No. That is a rip-off of Electric Six Gay Bar.
Ah, thank you. So I'm kind of right. It's a bit like when people say Jimi Hendrix is brilliant when he did All Along the Watchtower, and I keep having to tell people, yeah, but I know he's most associated with it, but it's a Bob Dylan song. So effectively, it's an adaptation of.
No! I'm not sure that's the case with that. It just could be a punk. I mean, it's only about 3 chords, isn't it? But that particular jingle is definitely a rip-off of Gay Bar by the
I think you've started something, Jay Gravy.
Right. Well, I think once
it was when that jingle was made.
I know I'm on dodgy ground, so I will.
When that jingle was made, that was a hit, and it was on the radio. That's why it was made at the time.
Okay, all right.
But I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry, we got a tweet from Jeff Perkins saying, "Is bowling forward sensible or a sign of panic when there is no cause for alarm?"
Oh, very good. Forward alarm.
No, I just don't think they've got many options. That's their problem.
I think you're right. They don't.
They rely heavily on Yashir Shah bowling a lot of overs, and that's fine when the wicket's doing something because I'm sure he wants to bowl. But on a first day track, it's always a bit dodgy, isn't it? Because the wicket's not really in your favour.
Yeah, especially on such a dry wicket that they seem to be playing on.
Yes, dry wicket, slow outfield we feel, although possibly it's been picking up speed during the afternoon. We are waiting. We're waiting actually because Mohammed Rizwan has had to take what we assume to be some form of personal break. So he's
toilet break, you mean?
Well,
I'm just about to go and do that.
Have to toast some crumpets, a la the bear.
Yeah, well, definitely Bear's been certainly having
break.
a few toilet breaks today, haven't you, Bear?
I have indeed, and I'm about to have another one. Who's coming on?
Thanks for the update.
Hendo's
more information than I suspect we needed.
Hendo is going to take over from Annie. You might as well do it now if you're there, Hendo, because that's just.
Oh, are you trying to get rid of me?
Well, no, not really.
No, that's fine. Just because I said
Hendo wants to take over now, that's fine by me. He did say one more over, but we have had a long bit of waffling.
Then.
So if he appears, I will disappear. If he doesn't, I will carry on.
Annie's the one that's going anyway.
Oh, Annie's gone anyway. I will. One more over, despite that long break, says the note I'm receiving via our production department.
Well,
that's fine.
I'm back again then.
And Annie's returned.
Genius.
Anyway, Yazir Shah has also returned. Short. Pulled straight to mid-wicket by Joss Butler. No run to 59 for 4. The run rate has gone up nearly 3.5 now. A sign that these two have started to play some shots, but also run well together. Flicked again to mid-wicket. That rather hurried Joss up. That wasn't a very pretty stroke, that one, Annie.
Sorry, I wasn't even looking at it. I was looking at Nestler's tweet.
I'll tell you why it wasn't a very pretty stroke, because it kept rather low.
Yeah, it did.
Skidded through, but not. You do have to watch that because he does have that one that speeds on, that does Yazir Shah. And Butler was very watchful that time around, as if he'd learnt from the last one. Plays that far more correctly into the offside. Yazir Shah hasn't lost that smile on his face.
All that lovely hair.
He's got that immaculate hair, well-groomed beard, cheeky grin. There's a lot to like about Yazir Shah.
Oh, absolutely.
In he comes again. Cut away past point or down to deep cover. So that will be another single for Josh Crawley. And we have Inzamam or Huck.
Hendo.
We have Hendo.
We have Hendo.
Otherwise known as Charles Dickens.
Oh, God.
Charles Dickens onto the back foot. Oh! And pushed down the ground. Josh Butler leaps to get out the way. And it's down to long on. And Crawley will get another single. We have just one ball left of this Yazir Shah over. One ball left of my spell for now.
And mine.
One ball left as well from Annie. In comes Yazir Shah. That slip stands ready. Forward comes Butler. There is no run. 261 for 4. The next voice you hear will be the shadowy but occasionally, though no frequently brilliant, Nigel Henderson.
Yes, I've been compared with God and Charles Dickens this afternoon, and I should say, of course, that obviously Charles Dickens is the better writer because God gave up after two testaments, didn't he? Wasn't very prolific, has to be said. Anyway, the only thing that's going to get Zach Crawley out today is Zach Crawley. He's batting superbly, but he has been a little bit cheeky in the last few overs. A little bit of a paddle sweep here and a reverse sweep there, and I do worry that he'll get a little bit overconfident in the next few minutes and do something silly. We'd still say he batted beautifully, but he can go on and get a double 100 here. Another thing we should be aware of is that he's rarely batted this long in any form of cricket. Was just checking up on his highest score against Glamorgan, 168, 2 Septembers ago at Canterbury, and he batted for 237 balls. He's batted 228 balls here. And Fawad Alam is going to try and get through a few to get that new ball as quickly as possible. He's in, he bowls to Crawley. Crawley drives all the way along the ground, back to the bowler, and there is no run. Now, I do notice that two of our commentators have gone off when we don't have any replacements.
I know, Tony is supposed to be on still.
Onto the back foot goes Crawley, defends this one, just dribbles back up the pitch, and there is no run. Well, it's down to you and me, Bear, then.
Well, I need to go and have a...
You'll have to take over Twitter, unless we can tempt one of them back.
Well, Fred's sitting there in the background.
Oh, well, Fred, come on, Fred. If you're just sitting there doing nothing. Down the wicket comes Crawley and works this strongly into the onside, past the man at mid-wicket, fielded at mid-on by Naseem Shah. They come through for one more. He goes to 145. England 262 for 4. What's this partnership worth now? 135, I think it is. And Fawad Alam is bowling his 4th over of the innings. Did I hear you saying that you feel they're a bowler short here, Bear?
Yeah, I do. It's noticeable that, their strategy clearly.
As Fawad Alam bowls to Butler, Butler props forward, defends up to mid-off.
If you bat first and you get a big score, having Yasir Shah, you get to bowl last and you feel confident you can let him bowl lots of overs. But here, he looked like he's had to bowl too many overs on a first day pitch. It's not really helpful.
No, defended again, straight back to Fawad Alam. He's right on the money, he's quite flat, doesn't give you an awful lot, but Butler plays him with confidence and good sense. Fawad Alam in again, and this time he pushes wide of the man at cover point, and the ball runs towards the man coming in off the fence. They take another one. That is the end of the over. Fawad Alam 4 overs, number 13. England 263 for 4. 4 overs before the new ball becomes due.
Now they've both come back. Come on, sort it out.
Well, it's Tony who should come back, so I'm going to go. I was just.
Hang on. Annie, you stay, because Tony's got to do some work. He's got to do some important work.
Has he?
Yes, so if Tony can slip off for a little while and come back at 6 for the last few overs. Sorry,
okay.
Tony. But you have your instructions, and you know what to do.
I just need to stand up, so apologies.
Oh, okay. You're getting a bit stiff.
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you sitting on the floor?
Yasir Shah will continue his 27th over. He's in, bowls a wide leg break, which Butler has nothing to do with. Almost looking at that with a degree of disdain. As Annie was saying, he's still grinning from ear to ear and there to there. Yasir Shah, he's in again, bowls and dabbed this time with the spin by Butler to backward point. Again, no run. So we have Annie back. We have extra Annie.
Extra Annie.
We're so good to you. We give you extra Annie.
You've had extra Bear all bloody day, mate. Do I get any fucking
extra
thanks?
Bear as well. Tossed up, driven by Butler, driven nicely wide to long off, and they, because of that, are able to get back for 2. And Butler's batted beautifully today. We shouldn't underestimate his contribution. Coming in when England were 127 for 4. He's taken great confidence from that innings at Old Trafford, it would appear. Some lovely drives today. Doesn't always get his foot to the ball, but his hands are so glorious. His hands are not quite so glorious there. He slapped that down to long off. Fortunately, it's bounced a couple of times before it gets to Mohammed Abbas. So just the one on this occasion, 266 for 4.
Those 2 6s were something special.
Yeah, I saw one of them. I didn't see the first or the second. I'm not sure which one it was. In comes Yasir. The sweep is brought out in front of square. Lovely shot from Crawley, and that is going to speed to the boundary. Takes him to 149. He's now faced 232 balls, 5 more balls, 6 more balls, and he will have faced the highest number of deliveries he's ever faced in first-class cricket. What a knock it's been from him today, 149.
It's a fantastic knock, and he's just looked brilliant from the start. And it's a lovely partnership. It's just nice cricket, isn't it?
It is. It's so rare that as an England follower that you get to sort of sit back and just enjoy the batting.
Yeah.
Yes, in again to Crawley, goes back and then works this into the onside. Mohammed Rizwan has gone after that because there is no one at an orthodox square leg, but one is all they will get. 150 or Zach Crawley turns his first 100 into a big one, a daddy one. 150 in his 8th test. More congratulations from Joss.
100 done, well done, well done. 50 runs, 50 runs. The job is over.
Well, that didn't really work, but you know.
Well, it was a try. You tried hard.
I tried
It didn't sound
hard.
too good from this end because
It's been a long bloody
breaking
day.
up as well. But I know what you were aiming for, Bear.
I know. Usually I make it work, Hendo, but
Maybe,
today
may-
I couldn't
maybe
make
But
it.
you've been here all day, haven't you, Bear?
I have
And
been
you-
here all
you know,
day.
you're tired.
He's waning, isn't he? He's waning a little bit.
I'm going to go and get a beer.
Well, there you go. So Crawley on to 150 not out, and he's kept the strike. Fawad Alam will continue. The 78th over of the innings. It's flat. He goes back. Thinks there's going to be a run there. There is, despite the dummy run from the man at mid-wicket. Moves on to 151. England 272 for 4. Very good indeed. Second new ball available in 2.5 overs.
And will they take it?
I suspect they will.
I
suspect they will.
too.
They really need 2 more wickets tonight, don't they?
Yeah.
They need to make that new ball work for them in those last 10 overs of the day. Fawad Alam, left arm around the wicket, bowls to Butler. Butler strokes this nicely through vacant mid-off area and will pick up a single. 273 for 4. Now, when England were about 160 for 4, I saw someone on Twitter saying, "Oh, this is going so well. End of the day, 220 for 4 will do me." Well, it's a lot better than that. It's 273 for 4.
Yeah, I think 350 at least. I know.
What, by the end of the
No,
day?
but
350
we
from
can
here.
Huh?
350 from here in the next 13 overs.
No, sorry. Not
You just
today.
mean
Sorry.
not today. This is stroked by Crawley again through mid-off, and they take a single. He goes to 152, 274 for 4. Rob
there's
Key
Rob
is
Key.
he's wandering around the periphery of the ground. I'm wondering, is he the last Kent batsman to score
Do you know
100
what?
for England?
It's very interesting because on YouTube, George Poper said last Kent player to score a double ton for England, Rob Key, and that was his only century for England. So,
Well, we hope the same fate does not befall Crawley, but
well, we
they've
hope he
taken-
gets a double century.
Well, a double century. That would be a perfect fate, but yes. Butler takes another single, and he comes again, bowls to Crawley. Crawley thinks sensibly enough to not try and do anything spectacular with that, just defends it back to the bowler. And he's thinking, can I turn this first 100 into a double?
Well, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Would be. Fawad Alam in again, outside off stump, crunched away, beautifully driven by Crawley, but to his annoyance, his chagrin, it goes straight to extra cover, and there is no run. Have we got?
What beer are you drinking?
I'm bringing. This is fucking genius beer. Brewdog Lost Lager, but like you can get
Oh, is it
9. You get 12 cans for like £8. I don't know.
Lost
that's
Lager?
not
Is that, what's it called? Lost Lager?
Lost Lager. So I think it may be a promotional kind of thing because they've just released it or something. It's a new
Oh,
one
right.
they've just released, but you can get 12 cans for £8. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Nestler says, no, it's Fred Titmus is a half man, half biscuit original, you mad fools.
Well,
Come on, Bear, I don't know, I wasn't part of that
I don't know. There's an original. I mean, one song's got different lyrics, hasn't it? I mean, this one's
I
called
don't know, he
Gay Bar.
seems quite sure of himself anyway.
yeah, but don't argue with Nestlers when it comes to rock
No,
music.
not
he
with
knows it all,
music.
doesn't he? Yeah, he knows it all. It's going to be Yasir Shah bowling the 79th over of the innings. He's coming in to bowl to Joss Butler, and Butler angles this away into the offside. Straight to Mohammed Abbas, I think, fielding there at square cover. There is no run.
All I do know is at the time that Pride Community made that jingle, Electric Six were in the charts with the arrangement that is identical to that one. So it might be a cover of something else.
Straight to one. It doesn't really turn, and Butler just presses forward and sends it back from whence it came.
I think, like Hendo says, we need to go with Nestle's on the.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know half. I mean, I've heard of Half Man, Half Biscuit, but I was never a fan. I've never listened to any of their stuff. So.
Yes, in again, and onto the back foot goes Butler and drives with a rather flamboyant follow through, but it'll only be a single up to long off. He goes to 61. England 276 for 4.
I wonder what biscuit.
Yeah,
if you were half man,
biscuit.
What half biscuit would you be?
That's a very good question. Zach Crawley is going to face his 238th ball in first-class cricket for the very first time. He goes on to the back foot and he crunches it away through the offside. There's surely a man guarding the boundary. There is Abid Ali, so it's just one to him. He has now batted for 238 balls, one ball more than he faced against Glamorgan for his high of 168, and he may well go past that high in first-class cricket.
He's breaking all kinds of records today. Personal record.
Indeed. Yasir into Butler down the leg side. He tickles that away. He wants 2. He runs the first one quickly. He's going to get back for 2. In the end, quite comfortably as the sun breaks through at the Aegeus Bowl. Butler moves to 63. England to 279 for 4. Well, Still haven't had the lights on today, which is good news.
But even if he gets out, it's going to add a whacking great, 12 runs to his average.
12 runs, is that right?
Well, because it's so few innings. I mean, this is only his 12th innings.
Driven by Butler. The runs are just there for the taking at the moment. Pakistan aren't interested until the new ball comes along. That's the end of the 79th over, so there's one more over before that. It's 280 for 4. We got any tweets?
Yeah, Eco Echo says 4 points of Adams broadside, the Bear and Annie on Gorilla Cricket equals laughing so much froth goes up my nose.
Nice.
Don't waste it.
And then he says bugger autocorrect. Adams is Adnams broadside. I think I changed that anyway automatically.
Yes.
Leah Bitch Finder General. He's quarter human, 3/4 bucket of lard, living in his mum's basement. Get it right.
For what
biscuit would you be? Come on, I want to know. I'd be that pink wafer one.
Oh, they're nice.
I think
I know they're not really biscuits, but I think I'll be a French fancy.
Okay, if he gets out on 166 or more,
driven by Butler, the first ball of Fawad Alam's over, straight to extra cover. Yes, Bear.
his test average will go to 40. Dead.
40.
Go to 40. What is it now?
Well, it was currently before this innings. It was 28.54. But
28.
Yeah. So if he got out now,
that's a huge difference.
Yeah, well, of course, because statistically he's played so few innings. So if he got out now,
Butler onto the back foot, eases this out into acres of space on the offside, jogs through for the single.
If he got out right now, his average would be. No, that can't be right.
The Bear does maths. It's not working very well, I'm afraid. He's got his calculator. You don't
get this on TMS, you know.
Sweat by Crawley, beautifully splitting the field out on the long leg, deep backward square boundary, and he picks up 4 more.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Well, he's batted. I mean, I'm running out of
superlatives
to describe this knock. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. It's been a classy knock. He's barely played a bad shot. It's really encouraging for England cricket. He works this one out into the deep square leg area, and just a rather pedestrian Mohammed Abbas, who had to run about 15-20 yards, and that gave Crawley, who only really needs about 5 or 6 strides to get down the wicket, the ability to come back for the second. He goes to 159 not out from 240 balls.
It would have been 39.25 if he got out on 157. So it's getting closer and closer.
He just strokes this to short extra. Yasir Shah fields, and there is no run. 1 ball to go before we have, I imagine, the new ball. Fawad Alam is just about to end his 6th over, tosses it up, driven hard. Ooh, was that a chance? I think Fawad Alam may have spilled that. I think he drove that very hard and very low, but I think it was catchable. As it is, he survives as it ends up in the hands of long off, and England remain 288 for 4. Let's have another look at this. He tossed that one up a little bit more, drove aerially. Oh well, it was on the bounce really. I think that would have been an extraordinary catch if he'd managed to get his fingers underneath that, but just a little bit of alarm against a lamb for
I think we're still asking to get the tea money.
I think they will. So we should see the new ball now. We should see a bit of Shaheen Afridi now. Fawad Alam is in trouble. No, not Fawad. Come on, Fawad, get up again.
Is it tipped his fingertips?
I think he's hurt his fingers.
Yeah, I think it might well have done. Jab one and back.
Desperate shame if he ended up never playing another Test match because of, or even a Test match innings because of an injured finger. Anyway, the new ball has been taken. Would you like to jingle us up on the new ball front there? It's a particularly interesting jingle.
This guy.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy, that Shaheen. It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy, he used to find the ball. Shaheen Afridi, Shaheen Afridi.
There you go. I was hoping for the new ball jingle, but there you go. Shaheen Afridi will do.
That's what I was waiting for.
I queued you up for it, Bear, but you were into your lost lager, and there's no hope at that point. 10 overs remaining in the day. 2 slips in a gully, fairly fine gully. Ring of 3 on the offside, so not over-attacking. 2 men on the onside in front of square, mid-on and square leg. And a long leg. In comes Shaheen Afridi, left arm over the wicket, bowling to Crawley. Crawley clips the first ball to the right of mid-on, and they come through for a very easy single. 289 for 4.
England are well in charge here, aren't they?
Well, they are, but a couple of quick wickets could change the complexion of the day. That was a no ball as well. The first ball of a new spell with the new ball.
Let's have a little jingle.
Was that the first no ball?
It is.
Over the line! Huh? I'm sorry, Smokey. You were over the line. That's a foul.
It is indeed. Another run to the total. England 290 for 4. The first no ball of the day. There have been very few extras today. In fact, just 3 leg byes apart from that no ball. So just 4 extras in the day, which is pretty unusual these days.
Yeah, especially now that the umpire, the third umpires are calling the no balls as well.
Yes. Afridi in. Oh, now that swung, and it swung too much. I may have clipped Joss Butler's pads on its way down to the boundary. Very well played by Joss in one respect. Poor old Mohammed Rizwan had no chance of getting to that.
It's that worked.
Nice.
Was that leg byes or was that byes? It swung a long way.
It was.
Leg byes.
I thought it brushed the pad, but looking at that replay, it was very faint.
It was, but it was signalled by the umpire.
Okay. 294 for 4. Suddenly, extras have doubled.
Yeah,
to
that
8.
was commentator's curse, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah.
We've cursed the extras.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Butler on 65 from 113 deliveries. He's waiting for Shaheen Afridi. Shaheen Afridi gets almost level with the umpire and then sees that Butler isn't ready. So he's forced to go back to the end of his mark.
Well, you said it would finish at what time?
10 past 6, I was hoping. It's not going to be 10 past 6, is it?
Nearer half past.
Yeah, nearer. Shaheen races in, bowls to Butler, and Butler almost drags that down onto the stumps. He was feeling for it, didn't really move the feet, got a horrible thick inside edge, maybe the bottom corner of the bat on that, and is rather lucky to get a single. And it's another no ball. The extras are just flowing now.
He really did curse it.
296 for 4. I do like that jingle. A very good no ball jingle. Don't know what it is. Anyone know what it is? Anyway, comes Shaheen Afridi. 2 slips in the gully, go down, driven by Crawley, and the umpire has to do some quick footwork to get out of the way of that. It's gone dead straight. Azhar Ali has chased it. I think perhaps Shaheen Afridi took a bit of the pace off the ball, got a hand to it, but it still brought Crawley 2 more runs. He goes to 161 And another no ball. It's another no ball. This is 3 no balls already in this over. That looks a very tight one, actually. It's a bit harsh.
Definitely a no ball.
No, you're right, though. It's right. It's a good call from the third umpire. Shaheen Afridi has just got to get this right. So the first 4 balls have been 1 no ball, 4 leg byes, 1 no ball, 2 no balls. So 299 for 4. In comes Shaheen Afridi, bowls to Crawley, and Crawley whips that away, beats the man at mid-wicket. I think he might have done better, but it's going to bring him 4 runs.
It's all go now, isn't it?
It really is.
That brings up the 300.
303 for 4. Absolutely right. Lovely, beautiful timing. Clipped off his legs. Yasir Shah should have done a lot better. That's poor from Yasir. It really is. He was grasping at thin air. He just needed to get down a little
He really
bit
didn't want to get down, though, did he?
I think he don't want to get down.
He don't want to get down.
He don't want to get down. I'm thinking he's probably a little bit stiff. He's bowled 26 overs or so today, so we can allow him that.
He's not having a great day, I don't think.
No, he hasn't at all. And
he was thinking it was quite good. Around about mid-afternoon, he was quite happy with things, but it's all gone a bit wrong for Pakistan since. Shaheen Afridi in again to Crawley.
Oh.
Crawley drives at that one, and should have could have been bowled, could have been caught behind, could have got an inside edge. None of those things happened. But he maybe thought to himself, I'm on 167, I can't possibly have my test score as my career best, so I'd better get out. It was possibly his only full shot of the day, really. But he survives, and the 200 remains in sight. Could he get 200 tonight?
He possibly could. He's going along at a rate.
The way he's going, yeah, absolutely.
And if they keep bowling no balls, bloody hell.
That's true as well, yeah.
He doesn't get the runs.
No,
yeah, but he gets his free hit.
Here's Shaheen Afridi again, bowls, and he drives again, this time mistiming the shot and dragging it up towards wide mid-on. There is no run. Perhaps he's just getting a little bit fidgety here. Maybe get a bit carried away with how well he's played, and the fact that England are now past the 300 with only 4 wickets down, and they can push on from here.
They certainly can, and he must be seeing like a football now, eh?
Yeah, I did say that little period where he was trying to play some cute shots to the spinners worried me a little bit, but he played them well.
He did.
Shaheen in again. This time he goes back, works it through square leg. Yasir has now gone back to the boundary, so it is just a single, and he has equalled his career best score. He goes to 168. And England to 304 for 4. We've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balls in this over, and the 9th should be the last one, but you never know the way that Shaheen has been overstepping in this particular over.
You still got that bloody fan on at your house?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
You don't need a fan.
I'm not going to sweat for you, Bear. In comes Shaheen Afridi, bowls. Oh, Yorker right up there, and Butler does really well to get something on that, dig it out behind square, and take a single. End of the first over with the new ball. Eventually, 305 for 4. Crawley 168, Butler 67.
I just want to say hello to Tahir Dogger, Amna Khan, and Victor Vincent Vicky on Crit Tracker. Thank
Hello
you
to you.
very much, guys. Jay Grover says, Bear, you seem distressed and unaligned with your environment and with those close around you. Would you like a free trial? Therapy, cleansing session, chakra? Free after £73 first consultation, and then only once a month for peace of mind. God
Well,
bless.
all the things that I've seen the bear consume in the time that I've known him, I would be very surprised if his chakras are in very good condition.
Can we check out your chakras?
Yeah, we'll check out your chakras. How's your heart chakra? How's your stomach chakra?
It's all good, man. I'm exercising.
Don't tell me about the chakras in your gonads. I don't want to know.
Oh, please. And Anna Forsyth says, Butler strokes this nicely through the vacant area. Sounds like pure filth.
Pure filth, absolutely. Mohammed Abbas has a fresh new cherry in his hands, pretty much. He's in, bowls to Butler, and Butler is almost poleaxed by that. He's trying to turn it on the onside, and it probably got him somewhere near the manly accoutrements, and he was doubled up for a little while, but I think he's okay. That was one that straightened on him. Ooh, yeah, and bounced. Yep, right in the manly accoutrements. and that would have
That'll
been...
mess up your chakras, won't it?
It
certainly will.
I imagine that Joss Butler's chakras are beautiful.
I should think
there's a
that's
line.
stunning.
You've always wanted to talk about Joss Butler's chakras on air, haven't you? I know.
I have, yes. It's been one
Mohamed
of
Abbas
mine.
again, tucked away through square leg. There'll be one. There'll probably be two for Joss Butler. There are, and he moves to 69. Talking of chakras around your gonads, 300.
Tell you what, my chakras are unaligned at the moment.
Absolutely. So they're enjoying the fact that the new ball is coming even more quickly off the bat, it would appear, as so often happens. Azhar Ali must be wondering what he can do to inspire this Pakistan team. It's gone horribly wrong since England were 127 for 4 in mid-afternoon. Crawley has batted absolutely beautifully, but Butler has been a wonderful partner as well. And Mohamed Abbas is coming into Butler. Runs past umpire Illingworth outside the off stump. A little bit of nibble back in towards that off stump, but well judged by Butler. Lets it go, and there is no run. So
random females telling someone to listen to Gorilla Cricket instead. Ebony's sycophantic love for the 100 is awful too.
Oh, good. We hate
Come and listen to us. We don't like the 100. Well, I don't.
No, there are one or two people in our domain who are interested in.
I just think it's
sort of
pointless.
But they're not on today. Let's put it that way.
Did you see Graves? You won't have seen Graves' interview, would you?
No, I refuse to read the Telegraph. I mean, I like Nick.
No, he was on the Sky.
Oh right, what was he saying?
Well, he was basically talking about how successful his 5 years has been.
Oh yeah, right, okay.
What I'm waiting for.
Mohamed Abbas into Butler. Butler jumps a little bit as he gets in behind that one and defends it into the offside. 2 slicks in the gully. So again, despite having the new ball, Pakistan don't feel confident enough to really attack. And that's because these two have added 180 runs between them. Butler is on 69 from 119. 50 at Old Trafford, 50 at Southampton. He's come back really in great nick, hasn't he? That innings did in the world of good. He drives this very pleasantly. It's a good piece of fielding. Azhar Ali running to his right and then having to slide to get his body behind it. And there is no run.
Well, the big criticism is that he's not a red ball player, but I've never believed that. I think he can, and he is showing it, and he's been showing it the last few innings, I would say.
Well, he was on the verge of going, wasn't he? He had to rescue himself. That was. And the thing is, if he gets out of this Test side, will he actually get any? Would he get any red ball cricket for Lancashire? He has barely played for them in the last 2 years. He plays at this one and is beaten by that one from Mohamed Abbas outside the off stump. That is the end of his first over with a new ball. England are 307 for 4. Annie.
Oh yes. Now Tony Bishop's talking about this half man half biscuit, and he sent us a YouTube clip. So we'll let people look at the YouTube clip themselves. I have got something. It's just Peter Lord says, I think the issue is that Bear was saying that the jingle was ripped off Gay Bar, released 1998, but it sounded to Nestler and I that he was saying that In Hell It Spread Titmus, released 1985, was ripped off Gay Bar. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it does. That wasn't what I was saying.
2 slips in the gully, backward point, extra cover mid-off, 2 on the onside in front of square, a long leg as well. Crawley needs 1 run to hit his highest score in first-class cricket. He drives at that one outside the off stump. It was full and wide, and when you're in the form that he's in, and you're on 168, you're entitled to go for it, but he was beaten by it, and Shaheen Afridi was not happy.
Ravi Nez replied to my half man half biscuit. He says Burns is a digestive, simply a cracker, Crawley and Marie, I don't know what Marie is, and Butler a Bath Oliver.
What is that?
I don't know what a Bath Oliver or Marie is.
These are biscuits I've never heard of.
But I don't really do biscuits. So
I do biscuits. As you can imagine. Shaheen in again and swings into him. He helps it on his way. It's gone fine, but not fine enough to bring anything more than a single as it's fielded at long leg. And England move on to 308 for 4. Crawley has a new career best. And I guess in the sort of hierarchy of good innings, he's going to look on 169 v Pakistan for England as slightly better than 168 v Glamorgan at Canterbury. I know you love county cricket, but I think that's the way he would look at it. No response. No response.
Sorry, sorry, that again.
I just assume you were talking to Bear, of course, because I know how much he loves county cricket.
He loves county cricket, the Bear. He's always to be seen there with a pack of sandwiches. In comes Shaheen Afridi, who's appealing for LBW. It started, I think, too straight. Would have gone down the leg side. Michael
Kept
Goff.
low again, though, didn't it?
A little bit, yeah. Michael Goff has been a wonderful umpire. I think this morning they were saying that he's not got anything wrong with in any of the reviews. He's been right, whatever he's given. And that was a good ball. It did swing.
Oh, it did
it swung
rise
too
up,
much.
actually.
Yeah.
Thought it kept lower than that.
I think that was a sort of desperate appeal from Shaheen Afridi. Really need a wicket to Pakistan. He's now got 1 for 62 from 16.3 overs. He's in again to Butler, and Butler drives and drives pleasantly. Possibly could have had a single there, but it's a good tumbling stop by captain Azhar Ali up there at mid-off. So they don't get a single.
How big? I was trying to use Stats Guru. I'm no knacker. Let's put it that way.
What are you trying to use Stats Guru for?
Find out biggest 5th wicket partnerships for England.
What's this worth? I'm sure we're nowhere near that at the moment. 181 this is worth at the moment.
So, well, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we'll let you do that, Bear, in your own time.
It's going to be a while, isn't it?
Could be a while. Into Butler. Butler stretching for that, and he's got away with it. It was a horrible shot. He got his foot nowhere near it, threw the bat at it. It squeezed off an outside edge and flew through backward point. I thought it was in the air, but it's gone away for 4.
Now my innings going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball and it went for 4 runs.
We're nearly in the top 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The highest is Fletcher and Gregg, 254.
Oh, really?
Versus
I
India.
thought it might be more than that.
No, versus India in Mumbai in February 73.
I'm guessing that took them a lot longer than it's taken these two to get to 180 whatever.
Yeah, they came in at 4 for 79. They were out at 333. Wicket fell.
Shaheen in again. Butler wisely decides to leave this one. Foolish outside the off stump. Yeah, he just managed to squeeze that up and over backward point, but he was really stretching for it. His backside was sort of poked out in the opposite direction. It was very ungainly.
He really didn't need to play it, did he? Let's face it.
Not one of his most beautiful fours, Annie. I think you'll agree.
Diana Patterson says, "Are you certain that the Bear is not throwing the die for all of these balls? No balls."
Could be, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
The no balls were quite frequent, weren't they?
They were quite frequent in the Dick Weller Broad Dice Cricket Trophy, which we presented for you, if you weren't aware, during lockdown. It was a very hard-fought game, but I won. 312.
Did you win in the end?
I did, funnily enough. Mohammed Abbas bowls to Crawley. Crawley just drops this ball that's good length outside the off stump down into the gully. And
he didn't know where that had gone, did he?
He didn't seem to. But, what does he do now? Does he just settle down and just try to stay there till the end and maybe get to his 200 tomorrow?
You take the bad ball if it's on offer, but I don't think you take any chances till tomorrow. They'll be stiff in the morning as well, and if you can just get through the first 10 overs in the morning, it should be plain sailing, shouldn't it?
Mohammed Abbas in again to Crawley. This one wobbles into him, but he pushes up to mid-on, will take the single. He moves to 170. 170. England 313 for 4, which must be probably the highest score by an Englishman since Joe Root's 220 against New Zealand, which was back.
Well, should we ask our stats man, because he's really good at this.
Say that again?
Yeah, the Bear. Come on, the Bear. Sort it out. Get your calculator out. Get your cricket archive up. Mohammed Abbas in to Butler. Butler plays at this, catches the outside edge, but goes straight to ground and then straight to gully. And there is no run. Butler's on 73. Crawley is on 170.
I have.
What have you got now, Bear?
Well, I have them up. I just don't know how I use them, Hendo.
Yes.
But I don't know how people get. I don't know how people get these really involved stats out.
Oh well, you know that there is actually a way to do it. We discussed this, didn't we, with Total Cricket Analysis? In comes Abbas, bowls left alone despite seaming back towards the off stump.
Yeah, but even Knackle gets these crazy facts, and I look at what options I've got to enter stuff, and it's like, well, I want to do that, but I don't know how I do it with these options.
I think it's patience as much as anything.
Yeah.
There are lots of things you have to think about.
And
if
not
you're
having
patient
beer
enough,
and
not having a lot of beer
and crumpets.
during the
Speaking
day,
of which,
yeah,
I need to go and get
could
my
be that.
last beer out of the fridge.
We've seen the groundsman's dog again. A very nice dog it is. Brown with a little white front. It's Spanielish. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it looks very friendly. So, skipping around. Defended up to mid-on by... I'm a cricket commentator. I'm not at Crufts, as I was about to say. It's a sort of mixture of a sort of
Very
spaniel
friendly.
and very friendly, as most dogs are. But I can't give you any more detail than that. 313 for 4. Mohammed Abbas has toiled through almost 19 overs today for no reward, none for 49. He's never been easy to hit or take runs off, but just hasn't unleashed that magic delivery as he's in again to Butler, and Butler defends on the front foot, square into the offside, fielded by Fawad Alam, and there is no run. 313 for 4. More tweets.
Jay Grover tells me to see if I can find Christopher Brooks' book about Cardis. It's mint and talks a lot about his music obsession. Okay, I will do. Thank you. I always like to have suggestions of books.
I'd read a bit of Dickens if I were you.
Tim, oh no, that's replying to something else. Jay Grover says, if you found any book by David Brooks, you've proper fucked up.
Shaheen Afridi bowls to Crawley at the start of the over, and he works that away into the onside. They're looking for a second, and they're going to come for it. Probably wise not to, as Abid Ali, I think, has come a long way in from the boundary. Ended up in an orthodox square leg position. They thought they might be able to get two to him, but wisely decided against it in the end.
This is the highest fourth wicket partnership at the Aegeus Bowl.
It's the highest fifth wicket partnership at the Aegeus Bowl.
Yeah.
There, you're getting really good at this.
How many tests have been held at the Aegeus
Well,
Bowl?
that's the thing, isn't it? Funnily enough, the next highest was Samarawira and Sangakkara. It was 141.
Okay.
I think they might be signing you up on TMS.
Down the leg side, hits Butler on the pad again, but that is going to race down to the boundary and bring 4 more leg byes.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
There is swing there for Shaheen Afridi, but unfortunately he's starting it around about leg stump and it's swinging further down the leg side. It's just not quite got the accuracy that he needs. If he can get that one a little bit straighter, then Butler could have something awkward to deal with. 318 for 4. What's the GPL situation, Bear?
Everyone's out. There was no.
How many?
The highest was 298. There was only 3.
Oh dear. Shaheen in again. Bowls to Butler. Butler drives at this one. It's wider outside the off stump. Didn't really time it, and it grubs up towards mid off. So Butler remains on 73. Crawley 171. Now, what do you think the media and press are going to make of this Crawley innings tomorrow?
Hopefully
they're going to
they'll
go crazy, aren't they? They're going to build up expectation beyond belief now.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do things in halves, do we?
No, we don't.
Our press, you're either completely shit or you are the best thing ever.
Indeed. Shaheen in again, bowls driven by Butler and driven straight of poor old Azhar Ali, who then has to turn and run again. It's not going fast enough that he can give it up completely, but it is going to beat him to the boundary. It's 4 more for Joss.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And listen, what you should say about Joss Butler is I don't think there's anyone out there saying they would have liked Joss Butler to have been out of this England team. We always wanted him to come good, and he's.
Oh, you're all saying it now.
Well, no, we all wanted him to come good, and that's why, in a sense, I suppose he was persevered with for so long. He's still got to do, he's still got to do more. He's got to get more hundreds, hasn't he? And he might be onto one here. He's got 23 runs to go.
Don't jinx him.
I'll try not to. He bowls and he defends. The straight bat up to mid-off.
Do you want to know what the highest 5th wicket partnership ever was?
The highest 5th wicket test partnership?
Yeah.
Go on.
405.
Between?
Barnes and Bradman.
Blimey.
Never
was
heard of
that?
Next highest, weirdly, Blewett and Steve Waugh.
Oh, I reckon I might have watched that. Was that in Adelaide?
No, it was in Johannesburg in '97.
Oh, right. Okay. Shaheen in again. Bowls. Butler chases that one and misses it, basically. A swing and a miss through to the keeper.
We don't want it to be Australian, do we? So we've got to get on and...
Well, hang on. They've got a bit of a way to go to get 405. Oh, what was the second highest there? What was the Steve Waugh Blewett one?
385.
How much, sorry?
385.
385. So there's still 160 to go, something like that. But this is probably the most enjoyable period of batting for England that we've seen all summer. That, apart from the win at Old Trafford, of course, but we were much more nervous. We were never really able to relax.
Yeah, this has that sort of, just being able to sit back and enjoy it rather than on the edge of your seat, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. It's a rare feeling.
It is for if you're an England follower to actually be able to sit back and just enjoy it. Zach Crawley is on to 171. He's hit 19 fours, and his strike rate has upped in this final session from the second session 51.8 to 84.1. That's how dominant he's been since tea. Came out after tea on 97. Quickly got to his 100. And he's not looked back since. Naseem Shah is into the attack. He's bowling to Crawley, and Crawley defends a ball that's foolish outside the off stump. Drops it all the way back to Naseem, and there is no run. Shall we have a jingle there for Naseem Shah?
Okay, if you say so, Hendo.
Why not?
What's his name's arrived? Tony.
Oh, is he? All right.
What's his name?
He's back. Oh, well, we'll let him do a little bit of commentary in a minute. I'll jump off.
Oh, what, you don't want me to jump off?
No, you stay, Annie, you stay. We'll let Tony take it through to the end.
You're supposed to be on, Hendo. Annie's been on all afternoon, as have I.
Okay then, whatever.
Yeah, I'll go, because my ears hurt and my back hurt.
Naseem Shah bowls. This is what you put you through. A long day of sitting in front of the television, watching cricket, and you've got
I'm
injuries
sitting on
aplenty.
my uncomfortable chair in my office because I have an uncomfortable chair in my office because I like the chair.
Are you talking to a normal computer or a laptop?
A laptop.
Then you could take it back into your lounge, couldn't you? Sit there with it on your lap.
No, because I have all my other equipment in here, like my microphone.
All right then. Naseem in. Crawley was about to aim a drive on the up at that and thought better of it at the last moment, and grins broadly. I think probably Joss Butler looked at him and said, "Ooh, you nearly went after that one, didn't you?" And he said, "I nearly did, but I didn't." 322 for 4. We have 4.5 overs to go before the end of play. How great it would be for England and for Zach Crawley himself to be sitting there or standing there at the end of the day and able to walk off with a big, lovely asterisk to his name. Here comes Naseem Shah in, bowls onto the back foot, forces, but doesn't time the ball. It runs to extra cover. He looks at his bat, wondering what happened there, and there is no run.
We've got lots of tweets.
Oh, go on then, get on with them.
Daniel Spence said if Crawley doesn't get a 200, if Crawley does get a 200, I wouldn't be surprised if Rod Key added it to his own average. I don't think that's how it works quite. But if Bear was doing the averages, then maybe.
Here's Naseem into Crawley, and Crawley defends a straight, good length delivery up to mid-on, and there is no run.
Jeff Perkins says Hendo is only doing this for his fans. I'm not quite sure what you're doing.
I'm not sure what I'm doing for my fans.
Marty Q says Zach Crawley is currently the 5th highest England score for an under 23-year-old, but who were the other 4? God, have we got time to think that?
David Gower? probably. Nassim in again, final ball of his 15th over, bowls to Crawley. Crawley leaves outside the off stump. And there is no run. 86 overs bowled. England 322 for 4.
Root one of them?
Yeah, I was going to say, was Root one? Under how old? Under 23.
Yeah, man. I guess Root might be amongst them. They probably have to go back a few years as well.
Alistair Cook.
Are we talking about highest individual score? Or are we talking about number of runs scored at this stage of their Test careers?
Oh, well, I don't know. Sorry, it's a short tweet.
What was the tweet?
Zach Crawley has currently the 5th highest England score for an under 23-year-old, but who were the other 4?
Oh, right. Well, I suppose he is. Yes, he's talking about individual score, isn't he? Yeah. Ooh. Well,
under 23.
Give us a clue. Give us an era. Will it help a little bit? Does Tony want to come on? Mohammed Abbas bowls to.
Yeah, and I go.
All right then.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
No, I'm only joking. We love having you. We'll see you on what day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. All right. See you then. Thanks, Annie.
Bye.
She's off to do more exciting things. 322 for 4.
Come on,
77. Crawley 171. Where has Tony gone? Is he here? Tony,
he's in the
where are
waiting.
you?
He's there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sign of him. There's no sign of him at all, Bear. What are you talking about?
He's there.
I can just
Here
see
he
his
comes.
name. I can't see him. In comes Mohammed Abbas. 2 slips in the gully. Bowls finds the edge, but it drops short. The tail, perhaps, of Pakistan's day. They thought about coming through for a single as it ran away behind the slip cordon, but decided against it. And Tony the Bish is here. Hello, Tony.
Hello, Endo.
He's back.
Although Bear couldn't remember my name, apparently.
What's his name? Yeah.
I was just, what's his name?
It's been a long day, Tone. It's been a
Just expendable commentary cannon fodder.
The Bear's been in a funny mood all day, hasn't he? I mean, since he swore at you the first thing this morning.
Well, I'm used to that now.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he's very gruff, isn't he? I don't know what we do about him. Mohammed Abbas bowls to Butler, who defends on the front foot. Stopped by Abbas with his leading leg, as it were. His left leg. There is no run. And we have, 21 balls remaining this evening. I don't think that either Butler can get to his 100 or Crawley could get to his double from this stage. So the best they can hope for is to be not out overnight, I would say. As the man who goes way. In comes Mohammed Abbas as the shadows lengthen. I love this time of day. Defended back down the onside of the pitch, fielded by the bowler himself. And again, there is no run. Is there a better time of day than this for cricket?
Beautiful, isn't it?
For cricket, it's the perfect time of day for cricket, and it's kind of just about when they're going to go off. So that's a bit strange, isn't it? 322 for 4, Butler 77, Crawley 171. Mohammed Abbas has got through nearly 20 overs of hard graft today. Hasn't picked up a wicket. Could he just get something to cheer Pakistan? They've gone for several hours without a wicket. He's in, bowls to Butler, and he beats him outside the off stump as he presses forward, and he wonders, what have I got to do to find the edge? I don't know, really. That was a pretty good ball. Could have brought the edge. Just zipped away off the pitch.
He rolled his fingers across that, didn't he?
A lovely little leg cutter, wasn't it? And Butler was well and truly beaten. So there's still a little bit out there. There's still a little bit in this pitch. And certainly that's true with a new hard red ball. Butler waits for the final ball of the over. Babar Azam doing a little bit of hopping and dancing in the slips. And this is outside the off stump, left alone by Butler. And that is the end of the 87th over. 322 for 4. Any tweets, Tony?
Well, it seems that is going to be my role. So, yes. Jay Grover says, fuck, the Bears found a new toy and is now off on one.
Oh, no.
Leah says, stop quoting stats. All my wisdom are in some boxes. Oh, yes, Leah's been dismantling her bedroom or study or office, but it included a bed.
I'm only doing it because I managed to grab a stat.
Grab a stat.
Grab a stat. Talking of stats, did you sort our stats out for tomorrow?
Well, I assumed I was supposed to send you a couple of ideas, which I have sent you.
Oh, have you? Okay, I'll have a look for those. You must have sent them on WhatsApp. Have you sent them on WhatsApp?
I WhatsApped them to our little guerrilla.
Oh, I'll have a look after.
Group.
I'll have a little look when we've finished.
And I've got one further suggestion, which potentially is interesting. We can chat about it at the close of play. I'm assuming you're sending them, though.
I will do if you want me to. Nassim in, bowls to Crawley, lovely drive into the pitch and then up into the air. So it's kind of fell nicely for the man at extra cover, but it was a glorious stroke. And Crawley will be a little bit unhappy that it didn't find the way through the infield. But really, when you're on 171 not out at the end of one of the most flawless innings you'll ever see, I don't think you can be too upset with things.
Not really.
I'm sure he won't be. 171 from 260 balls, highest score in any form of first-class cricket. He leaves this one outside the off stump, and it's taken by Mohammad Rizwan. There is no run. Tony.
Well, Stephen Boyd on YouTube was confirming Zach Crawley at 22 years old, now the fourth youngest English batsman to make 150 plus score in Test cricket after Len Hutton, Mike Atherton and David Gower.
I said David Gower would be one of them.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised that Atherton was, but okay. Nassim again into Zach Crawley. He's trying to concentrate right through to the end of this day. Bowls him at one right up in the block hole, but too wide. He just almost traps that under the bat and guides it to gully. There is no run.
Shavan Ghosh on Cricket Tracker is very uncomplimentary about Pakistan's bowling.
Oh dear.
It's worse than Indian club cricket.
I think that's a bit hard. This is actually a pretty good attack. As the Bears said, they may be a bowler light, but in terms of the variety that they've got there, they've got a pretty good lineup. And Shaheen Afridi and Nassim are going to come really good in the next 2 or 3 years, I would think. Onto the back foot goes Crawley, forcing shot, but again straight to extra cover, and there is no run.
Well, the point is, you don't really want your spinner to be, unless it's a really turning track on day one, which is very unlikely in England. You don't want your spinner to be the spearhead of your attack or bowl the most overs on day one, really, do you?
Yeah. Well, they've taken that route, haven't they, since they left Shadab Khan? I mean, that was the other thing. Shadab Khan was another spinner, which they used in the first test. Who would they have gone to as maybe as a fourth seamer?
Well, the problem is they've got a long tail as well, haven't they? If they bring in another seamer, it's going to be even longer.
Yeah, exactly. Nassim bowls, and it's driven into the ground back at Nassim, who then threatens to hurl the ball back at the stumps, but there was no malice intended, really. He grins at the end of it, and there is no run. 322 for 4. I suppose Wahab Riaz, you could have brought him in.
Yeah, he's not bad with a bat as well. He can
throw the bat a little bit, can't he? So he's quite an entertaining cricketer. Anyway, maybe that was a bit more aggressive than I thought from Nassim. He gave Crawley quite a long stare, but it's not great staring at a man who's 171 not out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
cloudy.
Yeah, the floodlights are on now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And when that artificial light takes over from the natural light, here comes Nassim in, bowls onto the back foot in defence. The ball goes up the onside of the pitch to mid-on, and that is the end of a maiden bowled by Nassim. 16 overs, 1 for 59. England remain 322 for 4. More Twittification.
Yeah, Skits and Grats, hello to you. Says Tony Bishop needs to be summoned to reappear on screen almost in a seance type way. The Bear confirmed this when he called for the occult, or at least that's what I think he said. Okay. Jay Grover says the Bears discovered stats. Tony has revealed the fell marketing beast. We are all doomed.
I think we probably are. I think basically the Bear has been channeling his inner Knackle in the absence of Knackle. Well, he's a bit lost there in Sydenham without Knackle as his sidekick, I think, or the other way around. I'm not sure which it is.
Did I hear you say earlier you weren't sure what a Bath Oliver was?
No, I've never had a Bath Oliver. What is a Bath Oliver?
It's a biscuit. It's a wafer-like biscuit.
Okay.
More typically eaten with cheese.
Is it wafer thin?
It is wafer thin.
Is it like a water biscuit?
Water biscuit. Yeah, I can imagine it's like a water biscuit.
I'm sure it's a water biscuit. I'll tell you in a moment.
Mohammad Abbas bowls this one far too wide. Joss Butler would be quite happy if he sprays them out there for the rest of the evening, which now equates to 11 balls. 322 for 4. It's been a magnificent day for England since about mid-afternoon when they slipped to 127 for 4 when Root and Pope were out fairly close together, but these two have batted supremely well Butler is on 77, and he's waiting for Mohammed Abbas. He's in, bowls again wide of the off stump, and Butler at this stage will not be tempted. There's width there. In another day, on another day, in another format, he would have definitely gone after that. But on this day and in this format, he just wants to be there at the end, and deserves to be. To be fair.
Yeah. It's a cracker, by the way, a Bath Oliver, discovered by William Oliver of Bath in Somerset around 1750.
And so they decided to call it the Bath Oliver.
Time we had one.
Mohammed Abbas in again, past the umpire, bowls again wide of the off stump, and once more Butler will not be lured into going after this. He just wanders back slightly towards square leg and tries to maintain his concentration for another few balls. Crawley 171 at the other end has really been the star of the day. Butler's batted very well as well, but I think the headlines are really going to be around Zach Crawley tonight and tomorrow morning. Here is Mohammed Abbas running in, going wide on the crease and firing it into the legs of Butler, and Butler likes it there. He flicks it away, he comes through for one, he comes back for the second, and he'll probably get back for a third as a rather weary Shaheen Afridi chases it and eventually throws it in. 325 for 4. Butler moves on to 80.
Well, I was going to tell you the odds for England at the bookies a while back, but I'm sure they've changed even more now. The funny thing was how far out Pakistan were.
I can imagine.
Pakistan
it's
are
been
already
a great day for England.
In a 2-horse race. Pakistan are already 50-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Still, they could still get another wicket or two this evening. And Crawley played at that one. It seemed to go off the seam, but didn't even carry to the keeper, who looked at that rather painfully, I think, on the side of the leg, as he was trying to get something behind it, as it really bounced awkwardly in front of him. That was quite uncomfortable for Mohammed Rizwan. But there are no runs taken, and Crawley has one more ball to survive this over. Probably be Mohammed Abbas's last delivery of the day. He's in to Crawley, who advances and makes that into a comfortable forward defensive stroke. That is the end of the over. 1 to go. England are 325 for 4.
Wobble Seam, aka El Chopanos, aka Abhishek, is with us, saying, said in great big letters actually, "I am here.
Hooray!
Say hi to me.
Hi.
Before stumps, please." Or actually, please.
Hello.
Me. So, hello. Dr. Dan has sent a lovely sketch of Joss Butler leaving that last ball of the 82nd over. Wow, he's
that was quick
and speedy, isn't he?
Extraordinary. It is remarkable stuff. Final over of the day is going to be entrusted to Naseem Shah, who has 1 for 59. Very good ball to get rid of root. Bowls and driven beautifully by Joss Butler, square on the offside. It was just swinging away a little bit, right into his slot. He's put it away for 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
He goes to 84 and England to 329 for 4. What was the highest prediction in the Guerrilla Prediction League there?
It was 298.
Oh, okay. Who was that?
Joe Willoughby.
Okay. Unlucky. 298. That was pretty optimistic. It would have looked optimistic when England were 120 odd for 4. Naseem Shah again. This partnership now goes past 200. 202 from 304 balls. Naseem in, onto the back foot goes Butler to a ball back of a length outside the off stump. Defends it straight back to the bowler, and there is no run.
Equals Dennis and Greg versus
Dennis
India.
and Greg? I thought you said Fletcher and Greg.
No, that's the top one.
Oh, right. There's another one involving Tony Gregg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Dennis and Greg, 202 versus India at Lords in 1974.
They've gone level with that now. They've gone level with the two.
Highest against Pakistan, Collingwood and Morgan.
Okay. Naseem in, wide of the off stump. too wide, left alone by Butler, who scratches his mark. He's got 3 balls to survive, and if England go in with both these batsmen still batting, then they will feel they've had an absolutely wonderful day. First day of this final test. We've only got 4 more days of test cricket this year. This year, people.
Crazy, isn't it?
Enjoy it while you can. It slips away so quickly, even when they play 6 matches in 7 weeks. Nasim Shah very exact in placing his fingers on the seam of the ball, and now he runs in to bowl to Butler, and Butler drives a little bit aerially away through mid-wicket. Nicely timed. That might beat 2 men chasing after it. Is Yasir Shah going to get there? He is. Picks it up, and with a little bit of fancy footwork manages to get it in. Butler takes 3 more, goes to 87, and he says to the young whippersnapper Zach Crawley, survive the next 2 balls if you can.
Well, exactly. You take the last 2 balls of the day, even though you're on 100 and whatever it is, 171.
Yeah.
They're coming up.
The record partnership for Pakistan-England or England-Pakistan in from either side is Shoaib Malik and Asad Shafiq, 248 in Abu Dhabi in 2015.
Okay. Well, it's hard to get wickets in the UAE. Those pitches are quite slow and low, aren't they? Butler on to 87. Crawley now on 171. In comes Nasim, and he leaves this outside the off stump. You kind of feel that these bowlers should be bowling a little straighter at this stage with this new ball. If they are going to force a mistake, it's going to be a slightly tired shot that might just hit over the ball or round the ball, trying to work it into the onside, might get a leading edge, something like that. But a 1.5 foot outside the off stump is not really going to cut it. Final ball of the day, and it's been Zach Crawley's day. Can he see it through to the close? Nasim Shah is waiting at the end of his run. He'd love the boost of a wicket right at the end of play. Here he comes into Zach Crawley. 2 slips go down, defended away to backward point, and that is the end of a remarkable day in the career of Zach Crawley, who will wander off 171 not out as England reach stumps on 332 for 4. 1 or 2 of the Pakistani players are running up to him to congratulate him very sportingly, but it's been an absolutely wonderful knock from Zach Crawley, who was in early after Rory Burns went for only 6, and he's stayed out there for the rest of the day, and he's played some absolutely blistering strokes, some gorgeous drives, some powerful pulls, and he's looked the real business. An international cricketer comes of age, perhaps. He wanders off now with all the England players on the balcony. He would love it if there were 20,000 people there to clap him off, but I'm sure that doesn't really matter, because the respect he'll get in that dressing room will be immense. Tony, what do we make of that?
It was phenomenal. Chanceless from my recollection, which is always a good judge, a good sort of way of measuring an innings. Yes, I think it's been quite a magnificent effort, and he will be a very proud young man, I would think. And it is a shame, I'm with you, you know, I mean, obviously it's been sad that there's no crowds at full stop for all the reasons that we know. But you know, when you're 22 years old and you've just made 117 or something not out, having come in when your side's in a bit of trouble, you know, wouldn't you just, whilst he will remember this day forever, would he remember it just that tiny bit more if there was a crowd standing, giving him a standing ovation as he went? I suspect he might.
Yeah, although, you know, really no one's going to know that in 20 years' time, are they? And when people say that was Zach Crawley's first 100 in Test cricket, and he went on to 171 not out on the first day, it's going to look pretty impressive. I'll bring you the card before we get off. Rory Burns was caught. Shan Masood bowled Shaheen Shah Afridi for 6. Dominic Sibley was LBW to Yasir Shah for 22. Joe Root was caught. Mohammed Rizwan bowled Nasim Shah, ball of the day, that really was, for 29. Ollie Pope, going back to Yasir Shah when he probably should have been forward, was bowled by the leg spinner for 3. That left England on 127 for 4 mid-afternoon. By the end of play, they've taken them through to 332 for 4, so 205 added by this pair. Zach Crawley, 171 not out from 269 balls with 19 fours, a strike rate of 63. He's outscored Joss Butler in that respect. Joss Butler remains 87 not out from 148 balls, 9 fours and 2 sixes, but a strike rate of only 58.78. And when you're beating Joss Butler in the strike rate stakes, you're doing pretty well. Shahan Shah Afridi, 18 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 71. That was the one wicket he got very early this morning of Rory Burns. Mohammad Abbas went wicketless today, 21 overs, 3 maidens, none for 52. Yasir Shah, it all looked really good for him at tea, 19 overs at that point, 2 for 60. He ended up bowling 28 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 107. Naseem Shah, 17 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 66. The ball of the day, of course, that got rid of Joe Root. And Fawad Alam got a little bit of a bowl, just in case he doesn't play any more test matches after this. 6 overs, no maidens, none for 25. Bear, the stats, Bear. What did you make of it?
I think England are totally in a box seat here. I mean, it did look a bit shaky at 127 for 4. And if Pakistan had pushed through then, they could have made something more of it. But having got over 300, having decided to bat first and get first use of the pitch, they're massively in a box seat here. I mean, you've got to be looking at 450, 500 with a bit of luck. We said that earlier in the summer, and it all went horribly wrong the next morning, but we still ended up 380, 390. I mean, even that sort of score, you think, with the pressure on Pakistan, they've got to win the test to level the series. They've got to do something, and although there's 4 days left, if England take a session and a half out of it tomorrow, for them to conjure a result, it's not impossible, but England certainly put themselves on the safer side of either drawing or winning.
Yeah. Well, I suppose Pakistan would have liked a couple of wickets tonight to have just made them feel they were still in the game. And if they don't get early wickets tomorrow, they more or less are out of the game. They do need to take 2 or 3 in the first half an hour or hour tomorrow to get England on the back foot. We have seen in this series that teams have lost the initiative when you feel they're going well. So, you know, it's another day tomorrow. Zach Crawley's got to get his eye in again. Joss Butler the same. Joss may be getting a little bit nervous as he gets maybe into the 90s and thinks that there's a second test 100 there for him. And of course, Zach Crawley, can he turn his first test 100 into a double? It's going to be fascinating to see. Let's have some final tweets from Tony, and I'll tell you who's on tomorrow, and then we'll be on our way.
There's a few. The Electric Six or Half Man, Half Biscuit tweet rolls on. Jay wants me to admit that it absolutely was Electric Six, or he's going to cry. I don't want him to do that, so I'm going to go away and listen to Electric Six.
I'm telling
tonight.
you it was Electric Six because we asked for the jingle. I know.
Even though I sent you the... Never mind. I'm not going to get into that argument. Jay Graver says, I'd be scared to get into an innuendo off with Tony. He's so skilled he'd make me shoot first. What? Okay. Wobble Seam says, thanks, Tony. Hello, Hendo and Bear. Love listening to you two lovelies, even if it's for an over or 2 only. He also says, so I see Root couldn't even convert his 29 to 30 today. Jay Graver says, thank you all and have a good night. We will. Mark Zip says, thanks as ever. Biscuits, Half Man. England doing well. What more can one ask? See you tomorrow. And Ranjit, amazing innings by Crawley today. Yes, indeed, it was.
Right, well, tomorrow I can tell you that Tony will be back, Annie will be back, the Bear will be back. We'll also be joined by Faisal, he'll be on after lunch all the way from Atlanta, and Ian Pearce and Nestle Boy. Ian Pearce will be here for the last session, and Nestle Boy will be with us all day. Hopefully he's going to bring in a roast peacock, but I'm not 100% sure. We shall see. But he's been on the Half Man and the Half Biscuits this afternoon, so he's probably.
I'm sure we'll have that row tomorrow then. Yeah.
Yes, I imagine we will. But until tomorrow, when we shall hope to bring you another unbroken day of Test cricket, unbroken by the weather, by light, by rain. We will be here at about 10:45 in the morning, 10:50, something like that. We might have a little stats subject to talk about. But until then, it's goodbye from the Bear.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Tony.
Goodbye all.
It's goodbye from me, Gorilla Hendo. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Whoa.
control the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Carol Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's